to Enliven Global Media, where tonight's focus is going to be VP Harris and the black male vote.
Enliven.
Enliven. Okay, so that's not commentate. Okay, we're starting off real good. Okay, so tonight's focus is going to be VP Harris and the black male vote, where we're going to engage in thoughtful conversations about the intersection of race, gender, and politics. With this election approaching on November the 5th, it is vital to explore the reasons why some black men are rallying behind Vice President Kamala Harris, while there are still some people that are hesitant. Okay. Tonight, my hope is that we delve into President Obama's call for black men to support black women, the question of women's readiness for presidency, and the troubling disregard that Harris has faced, often accompanied by defaming remarks. And this landscape rift with misinformation, we're committed to grounding our discussions in facts and honesty. Let's get started with our introductions. So, ladies first. Miss Silk, can you please introduce yourself for everybody to know how wonderful you are?
Good evening, everybody. Looking forward to this conversation. My name is author Tracy Harney Scott, better known as Raw Silk, award-winning author, advocate, and just ready to dive into this conversation and see if we can change some mindsets. So I'm looking forward to it, and thank you for having me. And you already know that, Mr. LP, I'm on my way to his house after this show.
Thank you. One of my favorite people in the world. Mr. Bolden, it is nice to, and I'm saying that correct, Mr. Bolden, Mr. Tory Bolden. Yes, I would like for you to please introduce yourself to everybody, and thank you for coming out tonight.
You're muted. You're muted, sir.
You're muted.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tory. I live in New Jersey. I am a targeted individual. I won't spend any time on that, but please look that up. I work in IT, and I have a very prophetic view of the world. I can't help but doing so because I believe in Yeshua. And I am glad to be a part of this conversation. I am also a neurodiverse person, so I do hope that helps me bring a different spin on things.
Thank you. Mr. LP, why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm the one and only Mr. LP, Stephen Sykes. I try to do what I can. I host and part owner of Enliven Global Media, and I own On One Consulting, where we help with branding, marketing, event production, operational enhancements for your small businesses. We also do photography, video, news, what have you. We do consulting. We do what we can, and more importantly, I do whatever Tracy tells me to do, and give her. So I'm just happy to be here, do what I can, and hopefully we can spark some change and understanding. And even if you do decide to go whichever way, at least you have some facts to deal with you. And thank you, Ms. Walston, for hosting this show. You being the moderator going forward, I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. LP. And I'm Anika Walston. I'm a licensed mental health professional in the state of Virginia. And I have been blessed with this opportunity to moderate this conversation that is very important to me, because I know a lot of people have seen for the last couple of weeks that we still have this thing called undecided, which I really don't believe with 2 weeks left that there's any indecisiveness. I think people know who they want to vote for. It's just about them now getting to the polls. What's important about this conversation tonight is that something came up last week. President Obama went out to speak to the black male population about their concerns about voting for Kamala Harris as president. So I wanted to have a conversation, thoughtful conversation with those who opposed her as being the president. We tried to do this a couple of weeks ago with women. We didn't get the turnout that we wanted. So this week, let's see if we can get at least commentating from within with Mr. Bolden, and then other people who can comment as the show progresses. So, Mr. Bolden, what I would like to ask you is, have you decided who you are supporting for this 2024 election? And you don't have to tell me. I just want to know, have you decided?
All right. So here's the thing. No matter who wins this election, I have to say this. The pages of Bible prophecy are going to go forward. What's going to happen is already predetermined. So, with that said, there is a scripture that refers to God is the one that raises up kings. But in this instance, king can be whoever is a leader. So it's not really gender specific. In today's world, certainly we could have a woman as a president or leader in anything, project manager, whatever. So God will raise up this next person. It's already predetermined. He already knows who it will be. But the way we do this in reality is by vote. That is what's actually in this predefined set of way of doing things, right? So how does something happen? You have people that support something and the greater number wins. That's the basic idea of this, right? So with that said, I'm going to vote for Trump. I believe the world right now, because of the predetermination of things, is calling for someone like him for such a time as this. You've heard that said before. So I do believe that biblically and prophetically, the next president will be Donald Trump.
Okay. Miss Silk, will you want to respond to that?
You're muted, Queen.
You're still muted.
Uh-oh.
You're still muted. No.
Okay, hold on. What's the hold on? Let's see. Let me see. Okay, try now. Uh-oh.
Okay, well then while we're waiting, so Mr. Bolden, then I will go ahead and kind of respond to that. So respectfully, I do. Write my name on the ballot. Somebody said I'm going to write my name on the ballot. Okay.
Yes.
So if I'm understanding and what I'm hearing you say is that because of your beliefs and how you view, biblically speaking, that this is supposed to come to pass this way. This is why you are voting this way, because of your beliefs based on your Christianity beliefs. I'm going to assume Christianity. If I'm wrong, please correct me. Did we lose Mr. Bolden too?
So yes. So
okay.
Yes, but at the same time, because of okay. So what is going to come to pass is going to come to pass. Okay. So what's happening now is that the left is rising up, and then the right is countering it, based on a lot of the things. Okay, so for example, I personally don't believe that a young boy or a man can be a woman or assume the place of a woman. That is counter to God's creation and intent. And you see the offense where, for example, I just watched a video of a lady who was in a sauna, and another person was in this hot tub area and jumped up, and it was a man with chest hair and penis, and he was just a man. And I just can't support an administration that would say that's okay. I again, this doesn't affect me as a man. I don't go to a hot tub and have a woman jumping up with her vagina looking like a man, but saying she, whatever. I don't, again, this doesn't affect my spaces, but affects women, the spaces of women, opportunity. I've heard of assaults by even teens who say they're girls, and then they assault an actual female child. I don't support that kind of stuff. That's just one thing. I do believe that Trump would be a better negotiator with world leaders. I do believe that. I don't think this loose policy of open borders is good for us. For example, I know Black people will never see reparations, but when I look at it logically, when I see that an illegal immigrant can never have worked a day here, get a debit card, housing, healthcare, food, but yet you still tell Black people, well, we don't know what to do. But you have a solution for someone who's never done anything here, never been here, no ties here, right?
I don't want to interrupt you, but can I because I don't want to get too far, because I want to be able to address each thing that you're saying. So let me ask you a question. Are you aware that even under are you aware that under President Obama that immigration went he was stricter on immigration rules? And that's a Democrat, okay? Immigration went up under Trump, and now it's going down under Biden. That's the immigration piece. Also, let's talk about the piece of legislation that was put into place and denied by Republicans to solve this, to at least put something towards this immigration issue. So I want you to speak about that. I hear what you're saying, and you have a problem with the immigrants, but let's talk about who's doing what, okay? Because we can't say that is a Democratic issue, especially if the Democrats did come to the floor working bipartisan to have this issue resolved, okay?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, how are you? So if you would like to speak on that, that's fine, but we do have a guest in. Yes, ma'am. How are you? Can we have your name, please?
Hello, everyone. I am Shiloh, and I'm great. And I know Steven.
Okay, awesome. Glad to have you here. I hope you were able to hear some of the topics. Mr. Bolden and I right now are talking about immigrants and letting people in freely, and we were just educating each other on the fact that right now there was a bipartisan piece of legislation to assist in the immigration issue. Okay. So these open borders, like I don't want us to have that narrative in this conversation that that's just what's going on, especially when both sides are trying to work. We're trying to work on it until Trump, the person who you just stated can negotiate with people, did not want his people negotiating in a bipartisan way. Do you have
can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah. Let's.
Is it okay if I answer his first question, Stephen? You got a lot of back noise.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'm trying to fix it now. Apologies to everybody.
No problem. Feedback. So I just kind of want to go back to the beginning. And like I said, the devil is a liar because he messed up my phone and everything for a reason. Okay. So the one thing that I know that I think that we can all agree is no matter what God you say you serve, they are not the author of chaos and confusion. Okay. And so we know that Trump is the author of chaos and confusion. So unless this is
we lost her again. Okay. All right, so let's see where she is. Miss Silk.
I still can't even understand that.
Can you hear?
The second,
can you hear?
I can hear you. I can't understand that. The second part is to my sister Tandy that said you could write your name in, and she's 100% correct. We all have that right, but we have got to get out of playing these games of you have two people on the ballot. That's it. Two, Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. Now, me personally, I believe that all politicians fall short in some way, right? And then depending on who they have in the Senate and in Congress or whatever, sometimes they want to do things, but they can't. I think what we run into is a lack of knowledge of how government works as a whole. And infamously, and this is no disrespect to the brothers, but while some of us sisters was sitting in class paying attention, y'all wasn't. Because if they understood how government truly works, we cannot hold people accountable. That's just like for the boss on the job that's up in the corporate headquarters and something falls short on the ground. That's not his fault. That's the person whose boots is on the ground. And I think that's what one of the major problems is. The other problem is that when we talk about, if we want to go from a biblical sense, like my brother Bolden says, the devil is always out to seek and destroy. This is not the time to be playing games. In 11 days, 10 days is going to determine not the fate of the country, the world. This is the person that you people are saying that y'all want to trust with nuclear codes. This is the person who has pathologically lied as something of flipping a burger in McDonald's that we're going to trust. This is a person that is not respected across the world. This is a person that other countries don't even want him to come to and allow to. And when we talk about smart businessmen, I was born and raised in New York City. There is nothing smart about Donald Trump. Donald Trump has always been a bully and a user. Okay. And if you don't believe me, go to Atlantic City and see what he did to Atlantic City by trying to take over the city. Go to where his name used to be on Trump Tower. We are so fooled by this. This man is like playing his own reality show with the world. This is crazy. And I agree with Tannerlin that the politics have been playing a game, but we don't have time to play that card right now. We got 10 days to make a choice between the lesser of two evils. That's it. The lesser of two evils is all we got time for. Because Tandy, if we go by your way and you're 100% right, Queen, and we have a bunch of names on a ballot, that still does not negate the fact that come November 6th, either Donald Trump or Kamala Harris is going to be office. Because you know as well as I do, because you are very smart in politics, there has never been a write-in candidate that has ever won office, period.
Miss Shy Love, you want to? Oh, what happened to Miss Shy? Okay, so
I think the internet, because it keeps going down and out or whatever and stuff.
They don't want us talking about this, right?
No.
Okay. Mr. Bolden, I want to have you respond, but I do want all of the young ladies to be able to say something. Is she back? Okay, Miss Love, would you like to share and respond?
Okay. So I just want to say that I know that you all said, I heard that you said that there were no undecided voters, and I'm one. I am very undecided, but I'm not choosing. Trump is definitely not. He's not in the running for me. I'm undecided on. At first, I said I wasn't going to vote. And my mother, who is in her 70s, of course, she's like, you need to vote, our ancestors, and, with the voting and, all of that. I know. So I said, okay, I thought about it. I said, okay, I'll vote. But she took that as automatically, I'm going to vote for Kamala. So I am undecided right now on between Kamala and Jill Stein or Cornel West. Now, I know that Cornel West and Jill Stein are not going to be the president, but there's something in me that is giving me like Kamala and Trump are almost like, the lesser of two evils. I hate that. I don't like it. I don't like how there was no the Democratic nomination. Am I saying that right?
Yes.
She just slid in, get in where you fit in. And she slid right in. So I feel like if we had a choice and she was chosen to be the Democratic front runner, I would feel differently about it. But I'm just looking at it from all angles. And at the end of the day, I am going to go and vote. And I will probably vote for her, even though I really don't want to. But I definitely don't want Donald Trump to win. I don't want to feel like I threw my vote away. So there are people like me who really like are passionate about the country, the president, the future, how we looked at, like you said, nobody respects Donald Trump. They just, I mean, come on. Like, he's an idiot. Nobody respects him. But on the other hand, you have people like me who don't respect Kamala either. So we're really trying to navigate this and, figure it out one day at a time. And it's coming up quick.
I know,
what?
right?
Miss
Can I
Love, I
ask
wish
Miss
you were here
Love,
last week. I
as
really
a
do. When
as
we
a
were having the
queen,
women, when we needed the
right,
women, I wish you
women
were
to
here
right. I
to
wish
talk
you would.
about
I
that.
wish you would. Can you tell me? Can you tell me why you don't respect her though? What makes you feel that way? Your honest opinion.
So I have a lot of friends and family. Of course, before she became president, she was the attorney general in California. So
Right.
when she was in California, like the people I know personally have been talking bad about her ever since she became the vice president. So before I even knew who she was, before she even became the vice president, those people already didn't like her and they knew who she was. I didn't know who she was until she became the vice president. And then we fast forward to now, and like last year or earlier this year, whatever the reporter was sitting down with her, was like, "What are you gonna do for Black people? Are you thinking?" And she's like, "I'm not doing nothing for just Black people." And it's like a condescending tone that she has. Stephen, you want to say something?
There's two things with that. That was taken out of a context of the whole
Right.
conversation. And
Well, I
then,
did watch the interview.
oh,
I
okay.
did watch the whole thing. For me, it was still in the context because she still said she won't go do nothing for just Black people. But then the stuff that she votes on now and does now, it's specific like to Asians or Israelis. It's like a pick and choose thing.
Well,
And
Do
I,
you
I,
know what she's done for Black people?
but
Do
there
you
was
know anything? Do you know anything that she's done for Black people? You know anything about her time as Attorney General?
everything that I've heard is negative, very negative.
Did you
And I was
research
going
it?
to say that, Anika, because the common myth, Miss Love, is that because I heard it too, that she locked up a whole bunch of Black men. That's a lie. Okay,
That's
it's
not
a
a
flat
truth at
out
all.
lie. It's not true at all. And actually, you can research it. She was actually held to the carpet and told that she was too soft on crime and she was making too many concessions not to incarcerate people. I work with returning citizens every day for a nonprofit called Help Me Help You. Well, we work with returning citizens, and I can tell you that's a straight lie. And so that's one of the lies that has perpetuated through the African American community, and especially with men, that has caused us to have that problem. Because I felt the same exact way, but I had to go above and beyond and do that research because, like you, I was the one that heard, oh, all she did was incarcerate Black men. But I can tell you that was a lie. The other misconception is that she's only doing again, and this is no disrespect for you, the people's lack of understanding for how government works. Okay. There are bills and stuff that come forward. Black people have to get out of the habit of going, well, what are you going to do for Black people? I find it funny that Black people always say, what are you going to do for Black people? But what do Black people do for ourselves? Right? Because we don't show up for the politics. We don't go. We do just like Tangi says, she's not Black. If she's not Black, what is she? Because I know until they take off the books, the 1% rule, it's like for Black people ain't never Black enough. Obama wasn't Black enough. This one isn't Black enough. Okay. Listen, I'm 100% American Indian, 100% on both parents. When you look at me, you see a Black girl with a fly wig on her head. Let's just keep it 100. Okay. So, I mean, and that's it. And I think that in your defense, Miss Love, and I think that the elders has done, and me and Tandalin talked about this before, has done us a disservice by stop talking. We started allowing schools to pour into our children, and they started streamlining what the common joke that we always talk about, right? Is
Oh no.
Oh, she paused. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And I saw
Yeah, I just
something
wanted to
that
say
said
I
she's
agree.
India. Yeah, I saw something that says she's India from India.
She's
Let me start.
biracial.
Okay, her mother is Indian, her father is Jamaican.
He's
1
black.
+ 1 is 2, and she's black.
Black.
Okay.
Why does it matter
it
at
was
this point?
it was
Why
time
does it
for the
even matter?
KK. They're taking all of us out of here. Okay. Just so y'all know. But I don't want to forget about Mr. Bolden because it seemed like we missed him. So
Yeah.
go ahead, Mr. LP.
Well,
No, I was trying to make sure his signal was getting weak, so I didn't want to lose you, Tori. I'm sorry. You there?
well, from what I understand, her father is white and Indian.
Would you like to see a picture of him?
Her father is black. He's
very
from Jamaica and he's very dark.
Right. Him and her mother and him separated a long time ago. Very dark. Kind of like Obama's father. Very black. Okay.
Very black.
Okay.
Right.
My thing is,
she's never denied being black. So what I want people to understand, even in biracial homes, when you have a white mother who has a black child with a black father, and you only see that white mother, those kids don't just say that they're white because of their white mother. They identify as black. Let's not play this game like we don't know that everybody is from a melting pot of something. You know she's black. You know she's black because you saw how she moves her head and she cooked her collard greens. Let's not play that game. I don't mind having conversations about concrete information. Like if you don't like her policy, like Miss Love said, that she was confused about whether or not she was putting black men in jail. Let's clear that up. Let her know what happened. And also let's understand how the government works. Prosecuting attorney does not make the arrest. Attorney generals do not make the arrest, nor do they commit the crime. So if a black man made it to court, guess what happened? He committed a crime. And then there is a grand jury who has to decide whether or not that's going to be prosecuted. So let's leave that alone too.
Hold on, let me also add to
I'm
that.
glad you said that.
Yeah, let me clear it up to that legally. You have your local and your state and your federal. She was then she was over the state. Now, to get to her side, okay, you had to be really doing something major to get to that level. Now, as the state, you oversee all throughout the charges. So whatever it's LA, San Diego, Sacramento, whatever, you had to report, and then eventually she gets the report for the whole state. Now they make the decisions and things like that. So yes, they may be 1,000 black men in LA or whatever, but she has no over that. If it comes to appeal to a state level or something like that, then it comes to her. But then, even then, it goes to the, like here in Virginia, you got a state Supreme Court, and also you have federal courts and things like that. Some things, depending on the type of charges, it bypass. And unfortunately, when it comes to people of color, especially Black and Latino men, a lot of it deals with drugs and federal and RICO. So it goes by definition and bypasses her. She literally only prosecuted and put 47 people in jail in 5 something, whatever, how many years. And she got hammered for that, and things. You'll see the record that, to be honest, if we had actually looked at her record truly, not just because she got nominated, but if we looked at it there would have been, if we had put the same energy, there would probably be a good chance that Biden would not have gotten the Democratic nomination, because people forget he was losing before that black pastor in South Carolina basically saved him, because he was talking about he was too fresh, he was too touchy-feely. People forgot all about that. So he was losing terribly. So it was, we have to come to the fact that that's just how it works. And I'm not saying it to make excuses for her. So you still can have whatever opinion we feel she's too tough or not. I don't want to get misconstrued with that. I just want you to make that, if you're going to have that viewpoint, please make that viewpoint from a factual, and not just to Mr. Bolden or Shy, just to have the actual information first, and then go. And if you're still undecided or whatever, that's fine. I just want you to, we just want you to have, and I'm not here to push you. We're not here to push you. We just want you to have this is just clear up everything.
Right. And we're and even, let's be fair, I'm not going to say anything about Trump. That's not true. Absolutely not. I'm not going to defame him either. No. But I do want to make sure that we have this conversation about this whole rhetoric about this transgender going to jail, being in a sauna, and that is just something that the liberals want people to have sex changes. I need to understand where you have that concept, where you got that concept from, Mr. Bolden, because that is troubling. Because that's like when Trump said that they're letting the kids go to school and then they come back a different gender. that is how misinformation gets out there. So
they're eating the cats and dogs.
They're eating why are we having this rhetoric? And then I also want to address the fact you said that people will respect Trump in other countries, because if you're watching the news, they don't. You're talking about other fascists and other communist people, Putin and Kim Jong-un. We don't want to take information from them. Let's talk about other countries that actually respect her and she has had communications with, because that's what, when we are talking about this, it is important that we do the research. If you don't like her, then just don't like her, but don't lie on her, because that's not fair.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Let Tori do shy, yes, but let
Oh,
Tori.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, we talked about Kamala's race a few minutes ago.
Kamala.
Oh, whatever her name is.
What is her name?
It's Kamala.
I thought it was Kamala.
No,
that
there are people who call themselves with the same spelling, Kamala, but she spells it Kamala as in Kamala.
No, it's Kamala.
Kamala Harris.
Okay.
Kamala, yes. Good. Mr. Bolden. Yes. Okay, Mr. Bolden. What were you saying, sir?
So, we were talking about the race part earlier, and I was going to say that I'm glad that came up, because my vote this year is not about race at all. It's about who I think is equipped to better run the company. He's not my pastor, he's not my savior, but I definitely don't agree with the more liberal side of the whole trans issue, only because I don't like the idea of the perversion in the schools with the drag queens and all of that. Under this administration, they're very pushy with that. I don't agree with that. I don't agree that you show good decision-making skills if you pick a person who would put tampons in a boy's restroom. I have to stick by my faith, and there's some limits. I'm sorry, but I am not willing to compromise the identity of a woman. A woman is a woman. That's it. I don't believe man has a right to interfere with the puberty of children, the perverted books that are now in school that none of us here were privy to seeing, thank God. But under a liberal mindset, that is it just seems to be a part of their nature. I don't agree with that, and I'm going to stick with that, because of my faith, and it's just not right to do that to children. Tim Walz or Tampon Tim putting tampons in a boy's restroom is ridiculous.
That's just.
So you don't agree with unisex bathrooms?
I don't agree. No, bathrooms are boys and girls.
Okay,
and then
so
if you
you've
throw
never used a
tampons in a
unisex
boy's
bathroom?
restroom, that's confusing. I don't agree with
hold
that.
on. Listen to what I'm saying. Do you not believe in a unisex bathroom?
Okay, there could be that, yeah.
Okay, so if it's a unisex bathroom, then there should be tampons and other things that people need in order to use the bathrooms, right? Are you just specifically saying
in a
that
unisex bathroom? Yes.
Okay, so I would like to also know, since we're not defaming, where we got Tampon Tim from, and explain to me where you got that from and why.
Well, it's just I'm just trying to have a little fun too.
Okay, and I'll have fun with you, because while we're having fun with Tampon Tim, we're talking about Tim Walz, who absolutely supported the LGBT community so people would not be bullied. That's not him giving somebody tampons, okay? If we're going to have fun about it, let's have fun. He is making sure that no child feels like they have to be left alone or left to their own defamation. He's also making sure that the suicide rate goes down with the teenagers and people who don't feel comfortable in their skin. So Tampon Tim is doing more than somebody who is harming these children and making them not be allowed to who they want to be. We don't get to make that decision because that would cause us to have a God complex. And I don't think you're saying you're God, and I'm not either. So how are we making these decisions?
I think the other
I don't agree. I don't agree with that because it does harm to children.
What does harm to children?
Perverted books that are absolutely perverted.
Tell me one of those books. I want you to tell me one of those books. Tell me a book that's perverted.
Oh, I would have had to do some research, but there's been a number. No, excuse me. There's been a number that have been brought up at school boards that are absolutely filthy that shouldn't be in school.
So name one.
I name them because we can go through a whole Shakespeare trilogy, and I can tell you Shakespeare had a lot of perversion in there. We can go ahead with Macbeth.
No, these are books with graphic pictures and words and everything.
But I need you to name them for me because
I would have had to been prepared for that.
Okay, so then how do you know what you're saying is true? Did you see them?
Because I've seen the books brought up in the school board meetings and seen the titles and the images.
And that wouldn't have, for you being so intelligent, you wouldn't have thought to have that ready so that you can.
No, I didn't know to have that ready for tonight. No,
that's not what she's saying. I would be able to quote that if it was so offensive to me and that was swaying whatever my decision was. I could name them off of the top of my head. I wouldn't have to
I don't need to
them.
be swayed. I wouldn't vote for her because she's incompetent.
No, that's what I mean. That's fine. But what I'm saying is stuff that we have to be really careful.
No way she can run this country. Absolutely not.
We talk about perversion when she's running the country. She's doing it now with the assisting her president. But my thing is when we talk about perversion, right? Because and this is no insult to you, Mr. Bolden, but I'm gonna give it so we get these holy rollers, right, that feel about perversion and everything, right? But we're going to support a man who was charged with rape of a minor, of an 11-year-old. He was charged, and actually, in order for him to become president the first time around, they paid that young lady and put that case on the back burner. This is a person who has said out of their own mouth that he had visions of having sex with his own daughter, okay? This is a person who is a person of interest in the Epstein cases, which were all sex trafficking of minors. And the young lady who is now incarcerated for that, he was a partner. That's a proven fact. This is not things that I'm just
convicted of any of that yet.
Convicted?
He's been indicted.
Well, he's also been convicted of sexual assault, though. He had to pay like over $80 million.
Yeah,
so he also has been convicted of 34 felony accounts where he paid a porn star not to let people know that he had sex with her.
Well, we all have sins here. Do you want God to throw all of us out?
Okay, but
wait a minute.
Hold on, let me go back.
I want you, Miss Love. I want to get you.
Wait, you gotta let me finish. Okay, so the thing again is that we don't get to pick and choose when the Bible fits for us, because like for me, until I got on this spiritual walk and really found a pastor that could really feed my spirit and explain, I thought the Bible was perverted. Because if you're talking about there was Adam and Eve, how did the rest of these people get here? That means that somebody had to sleep with somebody. Some brother had to sleep with some brother, some sister, or whatever. That's how they had to get here in order to repopulate this world. So we don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Well, you can only repopulate the world between male and female.
Okay, you can only do that. But so then incest is okay with you then?
Right.
Who said that?
It had to, because Adam and Eve, you remember, because in the Bible it says, and we're going to get off this in a second, when Cain was abolished out of the Eden, he had a Nigerian woman. That wouldn't make sense, right? Because if it's just Adam and Eve, where did that Nigerian woman come from? So it's either the Nigerian woman or incest. So basically, like, we're going to wrap this piece up. You cannot say that you don't like something about a party that is perverted when there are more than enough examples in the Republican Party, including the front runner president, who have perversion attached to their names. You don't get to pick and choose.
That's not exactly correct what I'm saying. This party absolutely endorses a liberal agenda that believes that little boys can be girls and little girls can be boys. The Republican Party does not believe that at all. That is a leftist belief, which is bullshit. It's
Okay.
proof in God's design and how we got here, male and female relations. Now, to say that doesn't mean I hate anyone, but it's an absolute truth. How did you get here?
So transgenders are the reason why you're voting for Trump.
No, because I'm voting for Trump because I believe those types of things are lies. I don't believe that a man can be a woman. I don't believe that a man saying he's a woman should get a scholarship of a woman. I don't believe that a man saying he's a woman who can obviously lift 100 or 200 more in weight should take that woman's position. It's absolutely insanity.
Yeah, but
Okay.
so all babies in the womb are girls until
Okay,
gestation and
so
stuff
what?
happens. So
So,
I mean that's just human nature.
right. So,
And so
Mr.
some
Bowles,
people
also,
end up with extra hormones after that. And then you have hermaphrodites, you have people that's born with two sexes.
oh,
So then what do we do with them? Do we just execute
Okay,
them?
so the anomaly doesn't contradict the norm. The norm is male and female. So, for example, if someone is born without a leg, do we now say there's another category of human to say that? Well, this is the norm is the norm. You cannot escape what it is. It's the truth. If a man who says he's a woman dies and then you dig up his bones after 100 years, everyone's going to say, oh, this was a man. That's the
okay.
truth. God puts his imprint or fingerprint into reality by designing male and female DNA. However, because of the broken nature of this world, people can be born with autism and ADHD, like myself. I'm autistic, right? Someone can be born without a leg. However, does that say that the anomaly should then replace the norm? No, it doesn't. Okay, you cannot produce life outside of male and female. It is impossible.
Okay.
Now, it's God's definition, not our liberal agenda bullshit to describe things.
Can I
Okay.
interject something here with you?
Miss
Yes,
Les
go
looks
ahead.
just as
Go
confused
ahead,
as
Mr.
I
LP, because I
am.
have something.
Yeah. I've two things. After I finish, I've been trying to get a question, and I want to make sure she gets that.
I'm just enjoying this.
No, I just try to be fair. There's two parts here, and I wanted to be clear for both sides. Just to be clear, for what Mr. Bolden is saying is that he doesn't agree with the whoever is side believing in it. He doesn't agree with it, but he does not have hate towards anybody.
Thank you.
And things
No.
like that. No. I know not you guys are saying that. Trust me, not y'all. I just that he now, unfortunately, he sees gay. He'll work with him, hang with him, whatever, but he's not going to hate that person, and it's still going to treat them with love. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people that, because of their religious faith, they feel that they have this hate. And my thing is that even if you don't agree, you should not hate, and then they take that violence out on them. There are certain aspects whereas I personally don't have an issue with the bathroom, but as somebody who's dealt with college sports and things, I feel that we need to protect safe spaces for their spaces. There should make, because people like this do exist. They need to have their spaces, but at the same time, I don't think in just using sports, I don't think we're the gentleman in Pennsylvania, subpar male swimmer, but now dominating the women's field, getting that film. No, when now we've had such a hard time in getting women's sports and opportunities, and now invading women's spaces, I don't think that's fair. Now, there are certain aspects that I don't think we can have a blanket case, because for years we had women playing because there was no soccer. You have women playing on male soccer teams. You have women playing on male baseball teams. So, there's, spaces in certain aspects of it that we have to understand that there's exceptions into all these things. But I'm a deeply rooted faith person, but I'm not going to hate on anybody and keep on going. I think we just need to here ensure that the people who hear this conversation understand that regardless that they exist, and even and also to point out what I was trying to pull up before to showcase a couple of books here that were pushed out there that they were, some were graphic and some were not, but about that were banned and things like that that normally would. Now graphic is a loosely termed these days, but as some feels graphic and some were not. But at the same time, when you look at and what hurts the Black community overall, you put this in the same place as on the same level as when we ban Black books. So now you see in Florida, we're not allowed to talk about slavery. They say slavery was a benefit to Black people, and we all know it's not. But they put that in the same space as this, and I think that when we group it all together, not the present party here, and I thank all of you for the level of candor to this. We're not doing that. That's where that comes in. But I want to get to both of y'all comments in response to that. But Shy was getting a question. I didn't want to be dismissive of that.
Okay, so my question was for Mr. Bolden. I wanted to know first, does he personally know any trans people, have any relatives or friends or coworkers who are trans?
Yes, I have met trans people, of course, and my sister is a lesbian. I don't hate her, but I have to put relation and blood. I have to put that second to what God's word is. It's secondary for me. So for example, I still love you, but I cannot deny the truth. The truth has changed and saved so many lives. So I cannot be a person. For example, I used to do drugs. I don't anymore. Right? So I cannot deny the gospel that it is able to change people. And God has his set laws and rules. And it's not our way, it's his way. Right?
Okay. So I have a second part. I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So I just cannot deny that. I cannot deny him in front of any man or woman. His truth is his truth, no matter what. It's not he needs to fit us. We need to fit him.
Okay. So with that being said, and to sway it back over to politics, and you said the liberals are who you don't like, the liberals and the Democrats, or who you don't agree with?
It's not a matter of like or dislike. It's just I just
don't agree with. Okay.
So for example,
wait a minute, let me get this other part out. So you can have your religion is your religion. It is not my religion. It is not my family's religion. It's not my friend's religion. It's your religion. So your beliefs should not have an effect and restrict someone else's rights to be happy doing whatever they want to do in their lives.
I never said that.
Okay, but
I'm simply stating what I believe, and therefore, because I believe it is what it constructs my thought about voting. So what a person does, if you want to get your dick chopped off, go ahead. I don't care. But you're
voting for a certain. But you're voting for the Republican Party or Donald Trump, whatever, because you believe that they don't agree with transgender people or transgender children or what have you. Like you're voting for them and you're on their side because of their beliefs that you think they have or that they present to the public that they have. Because there are Republicans as well as Democrats who may get out on the front lines and talk bad about gay people and talk bad about transgender people. And then you can go on YouTube and type in body cam footage of Governor so-and-so caught at hotel with 14-year-old boy.
No, that's
so
you're not getting what I'm saying.
I'm not.
You're not getting what I'm saying.
I'm not.
I am not a part of a collective. So I'm not going on the thought of the Republicans. I'm going on now as a changed person on what I know of God's truth. I could care less. So if the party was called Democrat and it had things that I aligned with, then that's what I would vote for. I'm not a part of a collective of some group saying, well, here's our issues, here's what we stand on. That's not what it is for me. For me, what it is simply God's truth. God's truth is not a man can be a woman. I don't believe that. That's not true.
Where is that
So
in scripture?
I do have a question. So do you believe that men in prison should be given the medication to go through the transition?
No.
Okay. So do you know also under Donald Trump in his 4 years, he allowed that legislation to continue into Joe Biden's? I want to know, did you know that?
He did not know that.
I heard, well, don't answer for me. I can answer for myself. I actually heard that had occurred. But again, I don't believe in it. Okay, I
that's fine that you don't believe it, but according to your statement, you're saying that you are voting for your consciousness and what's right by God. I'm telling you a truth. They allowed this liberty, not just under Biden. Trump's administration also did too. Okay.
Actually, the truth of that matter is that Biden's administration actually cut it. Was trying to cut it. And even Obama's administration tried to cut it, and
Trump kept it.
Right. That's it got put in because of the Affordable Care Act that was pushed in. You had to include everybody. And so if you were arrested going through the process by law, you still have the right for whatever care. So you had to push it through. Obama's administration was pushing it through, cut it off. What happened with the Trump administration is that on the public side, they're saying this. Now, both sides are guilty of doing bait.
Absolutely.
But what he's saying publicly to rally up everybody else, especially in the Midwest and the South, who's traditionally had against overall versus more cosmopolitan cities and larger cities, he was saying one thing, I'm going to stop this and whatever, but he pushed it through. And I'm going to tell you why he pushed it through and actually added additional laws, because he's also in a pocket, which again, most politicians are, but the insurance agencies and the drug agencies that's coming from China and North Korea that he's with Kim Jong-un in and Russia, were giving them money, just part of the money that his son and daughter were getting. That was son-in-law. Yes. So they got that in. So he pushed it. So they got the money in so he could push it through. So to be fair and accurate to everybody, this was all Trump's doing, not the Obama administration thing.
Okay. And so now that we have that, I just would like to hear your response on that one.
Okay. So the majority of conservatives don't believe that you can cut your dick off and become a woman. And so therefore, I'm just with that group of people. Again, I'm not a collective.
No. I'm going to have to stop you respectfully, because you said you were not with groups. You were on the principles of God, and that's where we were. So we're not going back now. I'm not going to let you backpedal and double down. You said what you said and just stand by that. I just wanted to point out to you that what you're saying was not correct. It's not just the liberals. So we can move on from this, but I'm not going to listen to you tell me something that you just said to me. Okay?
Oh, no problem.
Next topic. Miss Love, what else did you want to share?
Okay, so like I said, I'm still undecided in a way. I wanted, so besides the trans issue and the God issue, how does Mr. Bolden feel that Donald Trump would handle the genocide happening in Gaza/Palestine?
Great question.
Oh, I'm glad you asked. All right. That's a great question for me. I don't support either side because both sides have committed murder. The fact that Yeshua was a dark-skinned black man, and now that we have pale white individuals in Israel stating I'm a Jew without understanding, well, what is it to be a Jew? A Jew is not something you are externally. A Jew is someone who is internally a Jew. What does that mean? Not circumcision of foreskin. That has nothing to do with it. Is belief in Yeshua, because this whole thing is about Yeshua. We get stuck in these different compartments of liberal and conservative, but it is far beyond what is happening. The reality is both of those categorizations are distractions of what really is happening. Our enemy, Satan, the devil, wants to destroy as many human beings as possible. And he speaks through lies and policies, through governments, through law enforcement, and so forth. So, therefore, Yeshua, being a black man, right? And we're looking out at the world now, and we have, as black people, as foundational black Americans, we have been fed lies that our savior was a white man. Now, I don't hate anyone, but I love the truth. All right.
So how is Donald Trump going to if he becomes president? How is he going to handle, from a U.S. standpoint? Is he going to encourage Netanyahu to finish off the rest of the Palestinians? Because we have trans issues. Okay, yes, we have that. All right, but we have other bigger things happening in the world, and I want to know, why would you choose Trump to be president when we have other things like this happening, and we have a huge effect on like the lives of millions of other people in other countries
that we're allies with?
Thank you for steering me back to the truth. So I'll tell you something. When I was younger, I used to teach martial arts for a short time. And one of the things I learned is the value of self-defense. So I believe that the Palestinians have just as much right to life as the so-called Jews. I believe they both do. I believe they both have committed acts of murder. Jews have dehumanized the Arabs of Palestine by keeping them in an open-air prison, but they both have done evil. So I can say I don't support either side. So on the issue of Israel and Gaza or Palestine, it's kind of neutral. It's neutral to say to those who are calling themselves Jews, who are supposed to know the 5 books of Moses, are committing murder. A man was raped while he was in prison by Israeli soldiers. I can't support that. That's absolute evil. So if they take losses, that's on them. They're going to keep. You cannot kill yourself out of a situation. So what Donald Trump does, I don't know if he can do anything, but my position is neutral.
Okay. All right. Are you good with that, Miss Love? Because I wanted to kind of move it a little bit over to the other side. So, last week Obama did a rally, and he was in front of some black men, and a lot of black men were very angry because they felt like he challenged who they were and told them that they just needed to get on the bus and vote for a black woman. Miss Silk, were you able to see that? Yeah. So I want to have a conversation about that, because I want to know, Mr. LP and Mr. Bowden, why were y'all so mad about what Mr. Barack Obama said? Because I didn't say you were mad, Mr. LP, but I know you have some objectivity to share, okay? And I wish we had a clip, because what I think he said is, I think y'all just don't want a woman. I think y'all just need to stop. And as much as black women support us, we need to stop and go ahead and support them. And it has cited some just ugly. Stephen A. Smith was on TV talking about he can't talk to us like that, and you're telling to make black men make these choices. I can't wait to hear from the men. I want to start with Mr. LP, because he always has something to give us, and then we're going to go to you, Mr. Bowden.
Okay, I had it up, I took it down, and then I pulled it right back up. One thing, you ain't gonna catch me. You ain't gonna catch me slipping.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, so
Okay, and after the gentleman, I want Miss Silk to chime in on this. I can't wait. I'm ready.
okay, hold on.
And this is my first time seeing this clip.
Okay, cool. Okay, I'll send you the whole thing.
I haven't seen it either.
Okay, I'm sorry. Here's what the commotion was.
You're thinking about sitting out or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you because you think that's a sign of strength, because that's what being a man is, putting women down. That's not acceptable.
There's another.
I'm going to go ahead and just speak some truths, if you don't mind.
Yes.
Because my understanding, based on reports I'm getting from campaigns and communities, is that we have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running. Now, I also want to say that seems to be more pronounced with the brothers. So if you don't mind, just for a second, I'm going to speak to y'all directly. And
sorry to clip this wrong, but I want to be fair.
When you have a choice that is this clear, when on the one hand you have somebody who grew up like you, knows you, went to college with you, understands the struggles and pain and joy that comes
Get the fuck out of here.
from those experiences, who's had to work harder and do more and overcome and achieves the second highest office in the land and is putting forward concrete proposals to directly address the things that are vital in our neighborhoods and our communities, from housing to making sure that our mothers, our fathers, our grandparents can afford medicine, and making sure that we are dealing with prices that are too high and rents that are too high, and are committed to making sure that we maintain the Affordable Care Act, so everybody's got help, and cares about things like education and entrepreneurship in our neighborhoods. And that's on one side. And on the other side, you have someone who has consistently shown disregard, not just for the communities, but for you as a person. And you're thinking about sitting out? I'm not. But, you know, because of Pookie might be. And you're coming up with all kinds of reasons and excuses. I've got a problem with that. Because part of it makes me think, and I'm speaking to men directly, part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president. And you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for that.
No.
So just wanted to put that out there. Sorry for the clip was long, but I wanted to be fair.
No, it's good.
Yeah.
That was good.
That was good. All right.
Go ahead.
Okay, Miss Silk, why do you think Black men don't want to vote for Miss Harris?
Shit.
I think that President Obama was right on point. I think that we still live in a chauvinistic world. I think that there are some men out there that feel like they would be less than to have a woman with that much power, even though if you look nationwide over who's running most of your Fortune 50 and 100 companies, there are women in that seat. I think that they don't want to recognize the fact that, okay, the fact that since the dawn of time, since we were brought here, Black women have been holding Black men down. Okay, period. Okay, and I think that it's almost hurtful to me of some of the derogatory things that come out of the mouth of brothers. Like, if this was your sister, if this was your mother, would you let another man say some of the things that you say about this woman? Because let's just keep it 100. If somebody said about me some of the things that brothers say about this sister, my husband be taxing that ass. Okay, my brothers will be taxing that ass. It is totally disrespectful. I don't see why a woman always has to be on her knees or her back to achieve. Step your game up. Okay, she had the same education opportunities that you all had. Okay, the fact of the matter is, and then like if you want to, like Mr. Boulder said, truth and transparency, I'm gonna be 100% truth and transparent. The fact that a Black man would choose a orange person over a Black woman who has the education, who has the knowledge, who has the experience says a lot about this country. We all know, number one, that the United States of America suffers from mental health. And if you can't tell that, the fact that his ass is even on the ballot is an embarrassment within itself. Okay, that should tell Black people exactly what the United States of America thinks of Black people in general. Because Mr. Bolden, you shaking your head, but let's just keep it 100. If Obama did half of the shit that Trump did, if Obama said half of the shit that Trump did, he would be buried under the jail. They tried to crucify his ass for wearing a beige suit. Okay, but this idiot can lie to you in your face and get fact checked 2 minutes later, and you guys still support him. So that lets me know that there is either something wrong with you mentally or chauvinistically. There is no other way to describe it. Don't give me about this whole God, because God is about love. That's who God is. The God that I serve is about love. He loves everybody. What I hate about people who want to quote scripture and everything and stuff is always when it's convenient for them. First of all, we talking about a book that wasn't even a copying with us. It was written by a white king in the first place. It ain't had nothing to do with Black people. So if you want to get truthful and really know your history and really know your religion, then let's just call it what it is. Because we could go there all day.
To translate something doesn't mean he wrote it. So the book is written about Hebrew and Greek.
Unless you were sitting at the table with Jesus Christ, Yeshua, or whatever you want to say it, you can't tell me about nothing. Because if you remember, okay, first of all, as someone who knows, there are lost books of the Bible, okay? And those books conveniently stay lost for a reason, because there are women in the Bible that were ministers. There were women of power in the lost books of the Bible. Let's just call it what it is. So the fact of the matter is, it's a chauvinistic thing. And for Black men, the most disgraceful thing is we held you down. We held you down. We hold you down when you can't work. We build you up. We hold you down and stuff when the whole world is pressing you down. You come home and we lift you up. And you can't. I'm not saying vote for this woman because she's Black. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you as a Black man have the responsibility when somebody is saying something derogatory about her to check that ass, because she is a sister first. Whether she gets into office or not, she looks just like your mother. She looks just like your sister. No, so to allow, because you best to believe one thing, ain't no Chinese man gonna let you do that to their woman. Ain't no white man gonna let you do that to the woman. But you brothers always jump on the bandwagon and perpetuate bullshit. And she must be the greatest dick sucker in the world to make it all the way from being a prosecutor to the vice president of the United States. So I just hope her jaws is strong when she becomes the president.
Oh, maybe she was.
Okay.
Okay.
I love you. I love you. Okay, so Ms. Bolden, did you have a response?
Well, I was trying to, but it kind of got lost in translation now because
Well,
of
let's
so much
untranslate it. Let's do it.
because of liberal emotion is destroying
Okay.
is
I'm
interfering
not
with
liberal
logic.
and I'm not emotional. I just stated the facts. So all you got to do is respond factually how you feel it.
Well,
So
yeah.
what?
Well,
So
it was just my
what do
way of
you think the
describing
issue is?
it was just a
As a
bunch of
black
liberal.
man, what do you think the issue is of why other black men do not want to vote for her? And I don't want to. I want you to tell me why. I'm
All
not
right.
saying it's color
So
or anything. Just tell why.
okay. So I mentioned this earlier. I am a foundational Black American. I was raised by my grandparents. We have solid roots here. It is very offensive when I see little Ramirez comes across the border and immediately they're getting debit cards, they're getting housing, healthcare, and so forth. And equally offensive to me is the funding of Israel. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with the funding of Ukraine. Billions of dollars have been sent to both of those nations. So when any government, whether it's Democrat or Republican, say we can't pay reparations, it's an offense to someone like me who's a deep thinker. I'm like, wait a minute. So you would rather invest in death versus investing in people who would then reinvest in this nation, which is a benefit to us all. So with the Democrats, they like to toss that around in front of black people to act like, oh, we're going to address it. So Kamala recently said, or not long ago said, we have to study it. How is it that we have to study something when someone can come here day one and then be privy to benefits that even someone like me, I went on unemployment in May. All right. I work in IT and I don't get the same benefits as an illegal immigrant. So although neither party is doing something about reparations, I get that. But I do believe ultimately Donald Trump is better for the nation. I absolutely believe that he just is, right? But I know this. Donald Trump is not going to throw or even entertain thoughts like, well, we have to even consider reparations. But when Democrats do it, it shows that they are very dirty to play on black emotion to make them think, well, yeah, well, maybe we're finally going to address the damage done in the black hurt. Okay, you're lying. You're not going to do that. It would be the right thing to do, right? Considering the two examples I gave, illegal immigrants and funding endless wars on both sides, both Republican and Democrat. That means a lot to me because I know for a fact that it would be reinvested in this nation. But again, I don't want anyone who will let that slip out of their mouth unless we're going to actually implement it. If you can implement it for little Ramirez that came here from the Venezuelan prison, who's a lunatic, a rapist, or a murderer, then you can
You
then
just
pay reparations.
I can't.
But the thing about that is that
Like,
the thing is that
so
but
racist.
Trump is allowing that because you want them
Yeah.
to stop it. But the thing is that the Republican Party are the ones getting it because they're actually pushing for them. See, as someone who's been to these countries, and I don't want to sit here and assume that you have it or anybody else. I don't want to say that. I'm saying for myself, who's been to these countries, the Republican Party has aggressively pushed, come to America, get these jobs and what have you. On top of all of that, they did the bait and switch with America, where the factories here, we're going to push them over here. They didn't.
Please tell them why, though. Please tell them why, because it's just a different form of slavery. It's just cheap
Right.
labor. Let's just be honest about it.
It was
Let's
cheap
have this
labor.
conversation.
But see, it's cheap labor. But then now, when they found out that, okay, we can give you cheap labor here and make money off of you on taxes here. So that's why they
Right.
will come here. So they push it here. So they sitting there. They don't know that they're pushing that over here. This is why you see a significant number of Latin Americans that are heavily Republican, because they're the ones in their mind giving them jobs. So when they get to the border, hey, what happened here? What happened? You were supposed to have jobs. There are a lot of legal people. And then there's also the Republican ones that's also has taken a lot of their money and filling out the applications, this, that, and the other, and doing everything that's supposed to take their money, and then they say whatever and start over. And we have all this angst, like this money that they're getting. I understand that and all these things, but where was the complaint for this for all the Canadian and white Europeans that are here? It was only this big issue, which are a lot more, and there's a lot more crossing and staying illegally from education, this, that, whatever. And I'm not denying that there are crimes in every single situation, but the ones I personally, and I'm speaking just for me, I know others have said this, but I'm going to be fair and say just for me, I would take 1 million immigrants, legal or not, and trade them for 1 million people here, because they're committing less crimes and doing a whole bunch of things and have much more appreciation. The second part about all of this is, if we're going to go to foundational, biblical, and everything else, I have a problem telling somebody who they can and can't live here when it wasn't there.
No. That's not the issue.
And they're stolen. The land stolen.
Black folks, if anyone is going to get any funding like we're doing now, it should go to Black Americans.
I'm not denying
That's what
that,
should go for, not to endless wars, because reparations reinvest into the nation. I don't care about Lockheed Martin and Boeing getting money to manufacture weapons that go on to kill people, and then there's always a demand for war. No, I want to reinvest in this nation. That's why America First makes a good point, because do you go across the street and clean your neighbor's house before you clean your own? America First is just common sense.
But so then now,
and who is the American? Who's the American First candidate?
But let me give you the.
All Americans are all Black people are Americans. That's why American history, or they call it Black History Month. What actually should happen, it shouldn't even be called critical race theory. It should be just called American history that is unfiltered, with every bloody action, blood, whether you were dismembered, burned alive, or hanged. We are capable enough, or being mature enough, to understand that's what American history is. It shouldn't be a Black History Month. It should be American history that is completely unfiltered, with everything in it. Race, everything.
But you do know, when you talk about your book bans that you went back to, that the majority of those book bans are books on American history, which is Black history, which is slavery, which they thought, and so they've taken them out, especially in your southern states.
So
they've literally eradicated Black history. Slavery now is people were brought over here to work. Okay, they changed it in the history books. They've banned Malcolm X. They've banned books that we were required to read in school, like Maya Angelou, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. That's on the book ban list. So that's what I said. When we start researching these things, it's bigger than what you're saying, Mr. Bolden, about books that may represent Steve and Steve or whatever and stuff or whatever. That's just a guise. And one of the things that one of the people wrote a comment to Mr. LP that he didn't get, that I totally agree with that queen, that says that I find it so hard that people who were literally burnt, spat upon, skinned alive, and treated worse than a farm animal are the main ones that screaming this. We were so oppressed, but we don't have a problem oppressing other people. That blows my mind. It's insulting to me because my son is Dominican. Okay, so when you say Little Ramirez and things of that nature, that's racist to me. That shows you say you don't have hatred in your heart and a dislike. Hold on a minute. that is racist, because instead of you saying someone of
emotional mind, but not
Hispanic,
mine.
no, that's not emotional. That's just a fact. Because why does it have to be Little Ramirez? Did you have the same feelings when the Sudanes came here, when they brought a whole bunch of them over here, gave them housing, moved them in, gave them food stamps and everything else? No, because they look like us and they blended in.
No, actually, that's not correct. Any illegal African or Chinese person or Asian that shouldn't be here shouldn't be here. But right now,
Even the
it's such an
Russians,
influx. Right
even
now,
the
it's such
Russians
an
are
influx.
European people that come over. Are you saying that also? Even, you know.
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay.
If you're
And I
from
have to
Ukraine
agree
or
with you.
Poland,
I
you're
agree with
illegal.
you.
You don't belong here either. I'm
I
for
agree with you of
America first.
America first. I agree
So
with
that
you with
it's
America
fair.
first.
There should be some immigration laws, but
Right.
Right.
I'm
There
about
should
to
be
be
laws.
no, I'm going to
And
be pet. I'm about to be petty, because see, there's twice you have said something about my queen, my sister's, her emotion. Okay, so the fact that people are passionate, the fact that people are speaking factual or opinionated, doesn't mean that they're overwhelmed with emotion. She's allowed
Exactly.
to be passionate. But please do not attack her because she's passionate, and you've done that with two different undertones. So I respectfully,
well,
please don't do that to one of
not
my
really.
sisters.
It's not really an attack. You know, if you let me say it this way, then.
Okay, thank you.
If you're any illegal
Okay.
and you get funds before Black people in the form of reparations, if you get funds, I cannot support that at all.
Okay,
If anyone, should get it first. I don't care what you're running from. I live here. I pay my taxes here.
I have a
Those types
question.
of things should have been solved a long time ago. So you
Yes.
can't tell me automatically you got a solution for millions of people automatically.
Okay.
That makes no sense.
Okay.
Think
Well,
Now,
about the logic.
but
okay.
the Republican part, let me give this some facts to that. Okay. I
Okay.
hear you on that. Okay. And nobody on this panel, and I think millions of people who would listen to this would never disagree with you. But when you say American first and they should do all of this and then should not give the funding, the thing is the Republican Party is the war party. Okay. They've always have been. And so they're the ones that want to fund the wars and things like that, because war brings in technically
Money.
money and everything else. So they're the ones that's pushing this, and they want, it's the same thing what happened when during World War I, II, the Korean War, and some of the other ones where they had all the women here working and they weren't paying the women or very little bit of money, though 50 cents on the dollar, because where it was like 150, but we were paying women, but it would say, hey, you got to do it because you're a woman in pride. And it still didn't even have the right to vote. And back then. So they were doing all of this for the name. And now we can't see, it's a cycle. We can't do it to Asians anymore for the Asian Exclusion Acts. We can't do it to Black people. We can't do it to women. So let's go back here. So what they've done is that anything that they have done, they just rotate it around to different groups and cultures until they get it right. And now your frustration with what's happened, maybe not from you, and I don't want to sit there and I apologize. I'm not saying you, Mr. Bolden, but the frustration that they would have it. We're doing the ants in a jar, whatever crowds in a barrel. We're getting mad attacking them instead of going after the ones in charge, and it's not the Republican Party and things. They laid that label on Clinton. They lay that on Gore. They lay that on everybody else they can. And then, so when it messes up.
Well, it's called globalism. Globalism is driving this.
Right. But the globalism, what's the main income of globalism? War. Always have from the beginning of time, even in the biblical days. And so it's just the ones who are the agents of war.
I would say war and business. They're both interchangeable.
Well, before people had business, people knew how to fight and argue with each other, and they would go to war and thing. And it was always the people of peasants, because when they were fighting, even in Roman times, it wasn't over business. It was things like it was just land and control and power and thing. So they had the idea of money and power got them what they needed to do, and that's what was war. Thing. And on the premise, it would look like that. But when you, to your point, sir, but what we disagree is when you what they say, the devil's in the details. And I don't want us to use the devil, but it's in the details. So when you the ones look at all those who are authorizing that is there. Now, what happens is that Republicans typically don't want to give anything for the fake of somebody supposed to be getting it, where Democrats will give palliative to everybody so nobody will get covered. And what happens on both sides is that the Republican Party will stick to one point and beat it down to the end of the day. You saw even the debate. Everything, no, hey, healthcare, immigrants. Hey, education, school, immigrants. Women's productive rights, immigrants. They would use that down and beat that hate. Where the Democratic Party was have a whole bunch of platforms and maybe people get lost. So, but to your point, it's just the fact that the Republican Party and Trump want this. So, and they say you can't eat because the Republican Party, they taking your food away from you. Get away from the Democrats. I want my plate of food. Right. When the other side, but the Republican Party sitting here with a big basket of food laughing you at, you got your 3 cookies, I got a plate of spaghetti. That's what's happening. And we are systematically, as a whole, not the intelligence within this panel, but as a whole, are getting upset over that. And that's what's happened. I'm going to get that statement. Please continue. I'm going to get that clarification statement for you. Go right ahead.
But I still didn't get a clarification on why you believe, Mr. Bolden, Black men are not voting for Kamala, because it has nothing to do with what we were just talking about. So I because you're a person who doesn't want to vote for her, Kamala, I want to know why you don't want to vote for her. And
right.
And it cannot be everything we talked about because we've debunked it. So now I want to go back to you and tell, because you said Trump was going to do better, but you haven't told me how he was going to do better. So I'm asking you, as a Black man, what is the problem now? Because we're not talking about reparations.
It was a few weeks ago where I saw her say something like, "Oh, we have to study reparations," and for me, that's very offensive. Because again, if you have a solution for whoever comes across the border, whoever, then you by now should have had solutions for us. And reparations should be paid. We have been involved with every other nation with some form of repair or so forth. Okay. I'm sorry, but any person that comes across here illegally, if you get put ahead of me, I'm sorry, I don't agree with that. And I don't care who it's coming from. But my point is this: when you toss it around and try to dangle it in front of Black people to insult our intelligence, that is very offensive. And playing on those emotional heartstrings of the hurt that has been done in this country. I don't need that from someone like that. It's very offensive.
Okay, so I'm going to pause there because here's the thing. What I'm hearing you say is that we're not voting for Kamala because you're not getting reparations because you're tired of the promises. All right. Miss Love. Yeah. Tell me where you are right now during this conversation. I would love to hear.
And I'm not saying Republicans are going to do it either. I'm just saying
respectfully, because
don't dangle it.
We're not going to make this immigration conversation. I'm not going to do this. I asked a question about the character of a woman who was running for president, who stands 10 times higher than the person that you're voting for. So you don't have to bother explaining that reparation things to me. Let me go over to Miss Love to see where she is, because she was undecided when she started. I would love to give you the floor a little bit. So tell me where you are right
now. Okay, so I'm listening to everything. I'm trying to understand his logic for voting for Trump. Like he said, Kamala said she was what is it?
Kamala.
I have been saying Kamala. Okay,
it's Kamala. Okay, but I think it's all right. We have to correct each other. You know, we have to.
She said, okay. She said, and I heard her say she was going to study it. Okay, that's fine. That's what she said. Do I think it needs to be studied? No, because I think they already got the studies. I follow Dr. Malik Zulu Shabazz on all of the reparations home front. He's like, for me personally, he's like ground zero for reparations and the reparations movement. So I was kind of trying to understand if Mr. Bolden he really wants reparations, then why is he going to vote for Trump when he just said Trump, he knows Donald Trump ain't even going to entertain the topic. But there is a candidate who does want reparations for us, and that's Dr. Cornel West. So I want to know, I'm just trying to understand. I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to me how we're going against our best interests with this. But like I said, at the end of the day, I think I'm going to probably vote for Kamala, because I don't want to split the vote by voting for Cornel West or Jill Stein, blah, blah, blah. I'm not dumb. I know the numbers. I know how the numbers work. And I do not want Donald Trump to be the president ever again in life. Like, no.
Queen, let me just help you. First of all, unfortunately, Dr. West can't even be on the ballot legally. Okay, they decided that months ago, so you could look that up. Cornel West he didn't even qualify to be on the ballot. I think that Dr. West is a phenomenal person. I've had the pleasure or whatever and stuff like that. So, but he can't even be on the ballot. What you just said about reparations, I totally agree. I don't think that a study is needed. I think that there's enough information there. I think where people of color get hemmed up, we always got to do better, say better, and be better, right? So we actually expect this Black woman to sit on national TV and go, yeah, on November 6th, I'm going to sign a bill for reparations to give. You really think that white Americans, we are not that free yet, okay? This is constantly going to the slave master, asking the slave master to do something for you. You understand? Or whatever and stuff. But if you understood politics in political areas, and Mr. LP, you could clean this up for me. There has been some form of reparations paid. It just hasn't been the 40 acres and a mule that we want to see. Make sense?
No. Not that last part. No, I don't agree with that last part.
No. I understand what you're saying, because I agree too that we deserve just like how the Asians got and that stuff. I agree with you. But because we are not there yet, politicians had to get crafty with how they give us our just due, so to speak. You follow what I'm saying?
Do you think she's gonna flip the script once she get in office?
I think that she can do better, but it's going to be up to us to make sure that she has the right people in all, because it's not just about the office of the presidency. It's also the senators that's running and the people that's going to have to be sitting there voting on it. Remember, if you guys think back, Donald Trump has already aligned the Supreme Court with everybody that thinks the way that he thinks. I think the lack of understanding and the lack of understanding of Project 2025, because a lot of people are hearing about it and they think that Project 2025 is new. It's not new. Republicans has been using it for years. He's just doing it as to the extreme. But when you think about, when you said something, Queen Love, when you thinking about your family, so think about this, because I specialize in housing, right? When Donald Trump gets in office, Donald Trump said, there will be no more subsidized housing, period. Everybody needs to pay their way. Where are the people who make less than 30% in the United States going to live without subsidized housing? There'll be no more food stamps. There'll be no more welfare. He's already said that. There'll be no more elections. So this will be the last year that we will ever have a forum like this to talk about who's voting. Now, my cousin is of Cuban descent. Her parents came here illegally, escaping the Fidel Castro Cuba. Okay, is that what we really want? Because I have grandchildren. Okay, I'm 62 years old. I'm not thinking about me. I'm thinking about the legacy that's left behind for do I want where my grandchildren will not have the same opportunities that I had to maybe vote for the wrong person and realize after I voted for them, I shouldn't have voted for them because they ain't do what they say they was going to do. Do I want my grandchildren to live in a world where they can't go to a library and get a book? They got to sneak it. They got to sneak it to read it. I don't know where you are, hon, but right here in Virginia, teachers can't even mention in school now Black history. They can't say it at all. They will get fired for saying that. So we're slowly seeing this undercurrent of going back. So when Kamala says we won't go back, yes, he's right. I am passionate about that. I don't want to go back because I know I hear the bullhorns calling. All I'm saying is to all Black people, are you ready on November the 6th when Donald Trump say all Negroes Black to the plantation? Then what?
Oh, hell no. I don't want him to be no president. Absolutely not. No, I would never. I would never.
Don't never say it wouldn't happen. Don't ever say, because we have the template of the Holocaust to say that it can happen. We have the aftermath of Tulsa to say it can happen. We have the aftermath of Black Wall Street to say it can happen. White people are empowered. They hold the keys to the gate. So never say that it cannot happen. We are charged to make sure that it doesn't happen. And all skin folk ain't kin folk. So some of y'all will sell our asses out as quick as you can to make sure that you get to be in the house.
That'll never happen because many people would die of all races.
What would never happen, Mr. Bolden?
What she's suggesting, Black people being back in chains, loss of freedom. First of all, every Black person would fight to the death if that anyway.
But why would we get to the point we had to fight?
I'm sorry, what?
Why would we even need to get to the point where we had to fight? Why do we want to take that chance that can happen?
If she's suggesting someone wanted to forcibly take our freedom, then every Black person would fight. It wouldn't matter at that point whether you live or die. Just fight in general. The lesson learned is you don't allow what happened in the past to now happen. If you have a gun, if you have a knife, you use it.
Okay.
But you want Donald Trump to be our president, so you're not making sense.
Okay, no, so then let me ask you, Mr. Bolden. The other day,
he's not threatening to take my freedom.
So but the other day, Mr. Bolden, the other day, Mr. Trump said we got a report from Mr. Kelly that Mr. Trump said that he wanted generals like the generals from Hitler, and I'm sure we're aware of some history. So we had the generals like the generals from Hitler. Number one, Hitler's generals tried to kill him. Secondly, they also followed his rule. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about him, the person that you want to support, biblically speaking? How do you feel about him saying that authoritarian that lane? How do you feel about that?
Did he say that?
Yes, he did say it. He said it big as day.
Okay, let's see a clip of that. Show me that.
Okay, we're making progress. We're making progress. I think we're making progress. He said he wants to see it.
He wants to say, okay.
Steven.
Checked out. Mr. Kelly, do you have anything with Mr. Kelly telling about him being with Mr. Trump? We have anything with that? Like
I do. I'm sorry. Say the question again. I was pulling up some earlier information that you were asking, but sorry. Say the question again.
Okay. So Mr. Kelly explained and reported that Mr. Trump, while in the White House, said that he wanted to have generals like Hitler's generals. Okay, that is the October surprise right now. So I'm shocked you didn't know that, but Mr. Bolden said he didn't know that, and I asked him, how does he feel, biblically speaking, that someone would want the same generals that massacred millions, murdered?
So you have a clip of Trump saying this?
Yes, I do. There was a whole statement.
All right, let's see it. I just want to see it so I can hear it, and I hopefully that I hear everything before and after, not just a clip.
Oh, I don't do that. I don't need to.
It was the whole clip was about 12, 13 minutes, but I will.
Oh, okay.
Put it in the chat so he can have it and he can watch it and research it on his own time. So we're giving him something. And after you watch that on your own, I would love for you to get back with Mr. LP and let him know your thoughts.
Hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna give you the whole section, but let me play the front end of this just to be fair, because those who are watching who may not have access, I want to be fair to those who may or may not have access, who may be listening, whatever. I want to be fair to the audience for those who agree or disagree. Give me 1/2 second. I have it up right here. Here we go.
me read the section about Hitler that you allude to, Congressman. Quote, former generals who have worked for Donald Trump say that the sole military virtue he prizes is obedience. As his presidency drew to a close and in the years since, he has become more and more interested in the advantages of dictatorship and the absolute control over the military that he believes it would deliver. Quote, I need the kind of generals that Hitler had, Trump said in a private conversation in the White House, according to two people who heard him say that. People who were totally loyal to him, that follow orders. When you hear Trump's campaign rhetoric, what orders do you think he has in mind?
Well, you know, it's worth remembering that military officers also take an oath to the Constitution. And I do believe that the vast majority of them understand that their oath is to the Constitution of the United States, not to be obedient to anyone. And by the way, if you want to go back to World War II metaphors, any military officers who are wavering might read up on the story of the Nuremberg trials, in which I was just following orders was the kind of defense that led to the gallows. But look, we know what motivates Trump. It's absolutely nothing but self-aggrandizement. So in any given moment, whatever Trump thinks is in that moment, advantageous thing, he will order flag officers to do. And
that's pretty much it.
All right. So what I'll say to that, I absolutely hate police brutality and abuse of power. Because of that reason, when I look at both parties, they both have things I absolutely hate. I hate the liberal trampling on God's identity of women and men and children, but I also hate police brutality because it's rooted in slavery and keeping Black people in control. So because of that reason, I would be justified in disqualifying both sides and not voting for either one.
Okay, that wasn't my question, and so respectfully, I'm asking you because of everything we talked about, biblically speaking. This simply means that he wants to be in control of everything and want people to be loyal to him, not loyal to this country, not loyal to God, not loyal to God's word. He wants them to be loyal to him. He has Bibles out with his name on it. So I need you to understand everything that you said is sound. I got that at the beginning, but I'm giving you the person that you're voting for now. You think that's okay? Not both sides.
I just said that
because with that argument, that means you should actually vote for nobody. You know that,
correct?
Right?
That's correct.
Okay.
I could, meaning I would feel okay voting for neither one of them then.
And I would feel better about you not voting.
That's what I just said.
Because it contradicts everything that you said, and you have good, valid points, and you are stern in your beliefs, and I respect that. What I cannot understand is why, out of all this conversation, you would say that it would be Trump. If you're going to say stern and grounded in your beliefs in God, it wouldn't be Trump or Kamala. It would just be bless you all.
That's what I just said.
America.
That's actually what I just said.
Oh, okay. I can't tell because I think you put on a Trump hat on purpose.
Yeah, I just put it on just to be an idiot.
And here's the thing that I won't do. I would never call you an idiot because I'm not that side.
You know, we're not calling you. I'm not going to go. We know you're joking and just having fun with it, and I appreciate candor for that. And
the fact that you have one,
I appreciate. I appreciate. If nothing else, I appreciate. If anything, I appreciate the honesty. That's the one thing. Because if you're going to do something, own it, and you are owning it. So I appreciate that.
He's gonna walk off the cliff. He's gonna go all the way off the cliff.
But he's not owning it, and I'm not. He's not owning it. His argument is to vote for no one. But he said he's voting for.
It
Trump.
Was a cop out.
So he's not owning anything except for that hat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh man,
it's a nice hat.
Yeah,
it's really nice. Absolutely.
They're going to be. I'm not looking. We're not. We're looking for the. I think what we have to do is we can't look for the perfect answers for everybody because are there mess ups on both sides? Yes.
Yes.
Kamala being completely articulate? No, because she waited too late to do some things. Definitely. Also, I want to bring out another point that Shalov, you brought out a good point that's been a contentious issue. Some said she never had go through the process. Now, justifiably here, she actually did. Because when you look at the laws, when you have to exit out or what have you, you do by definition have the right to select your replacement by government law. And that's what happened. To sit back and say, okay, everybody jumped the sheep, this Biden's out, so everybody jumped back in and run through the thing. We don't have to, by the fact that you, by law, you have to get these conventions done at a certain time, or at, you have other things that have to be placed legally in place. It just cannot it could not happen that way to effectively make it work. So now you're throwing more confusion. And if you're doing business and something like that, you have to take the next, what they say, next man up, just like in sports business. The CEO falls, the next VP, the next person in the rotation has to step up. And that's what happened here. So I understand what you're saying, but that's just not how government works.
I understand that legally and somewhat. I mean, I understand that, but there's a lot of people who feel the way I do.
No, I understand that.
She would not be the choice. Just like if we go back, Hillary Clinton would not have been our choice to go against Donald Trump, even though she was the one chosen, whatever.
Well, she went through the process. Twice.
She did. She did go through the process and she lost. Mm-hmm. But oh God, now that I just said that out loud.
But she exactly. But she. But,
oh no!
But she lost. But you know how she lost.
We're gonna be up the creek, y'all. Oh, this ain't. I don't know about this. I can't call it.
No, but
I just had a realization. Like this is a mess.
But she lost because we did not show up. See, there's so many people they threw back out the.
She's gonna lose
the crime bill and everything else.
But okay, but if Kamala, if she loses, it's not because of Joshua or the Bible or prophecies or anything like that. It has nothing to do with that. God has nothing to do with our voting, and I don't think God is interested in our voting in the United States of America.
He already knows who's going to win, is what I was saying. He already knows who's.
I don't think God cares. I don't think God cares about our politics. He don't care about none of that.
It's all a part.
It's too much going. It's some real important things happening to people every day. If he cared, he would be caring about them and not the election.
It's all a part of this plan.
Let's put a pin on something with this real quick. Mr. Bolden, you mentioned about ordained in the Bible, things like that, and the Bible dictates this and all that stuff. Those are the same rules and the mindset why they justified slavery. And kept it slavery.
Oh, absolutely not the same.
I don't know. No. It's so then now as we sit here and people say, oh my gosh, we see everything gay on TV. We see this on TV. We see this, whatever on TV. We let immigrants come in. It was the same reason when they sat there, and I made the comment some weeks back when Captain Kirk kissed your hero. That started a fire in the 60s like any old thing. When we say, oh, now we got to see black TV, we got to see black movies and things like that. It's always a justification for it because they try to say slavery, which they totally misappropriated the wording. So we have to be careful in how because maybe not you. And I want to be cautious in this and things. And I'm not saying this is defending each side. I'm saying this in terms of caution of how we use words, and words matter. Then where we use, the Bible says that it's used as the default trump, the default trump card in the literal sense of, in a dictionary sense of the get out of free card was the Bible as the excuse to get over when it's not necessarily the Bible. So we have to be careful in how we use be applicable in how it's used, because in essence, there was a reason why Jesus threw out the tables and was mad and things were turned over the tables and all that stuff. I think that he cares about the love of man versus the power of man. And I think, and we talked, I it's too much to post in the chat below and for everybody to see, but there are 7 books to Ms. Silks, Raw Silks point. There's 7 books that spoke to all of these different things. And I would encourage those listening to us to research those things and have it going from there. But Ms. Walston, please go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I know we're getting close to our time. Are we want to wrap it up? Is that what we're doing this evening?
I think we probably be a good thing. Silk, you've been a little bit quiet for a moment.
I'm just absorbing. Me and my, I'm just, yeah. I mean, I'm fine. I love having this conversation, and it's because this conversation was important because we only got a couple of more days, and I respect the fact that Ms. Love says that she's undecided and why she's undecided. I think the funny thing is I laugh because I remember when this first came up, everybody was like, "Oh, I wish Michelle would run. Oh, Michelle should run." And I just am confident to know that we would be in the same position, having the same conversation if Michelle Obama had put her name in the hat. It would not matter. It seems to me, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of that episode of Good Times where James and Michael took the white Jesus off the wall and put black Jesus on the wall, and they believed that everything, that was going good. Because like coming up as a kid, every black household had the crushed velvet Martin Luther King picture and the white Jesus picture somewhere at somebody's grandmother's house, right? We are so uncomfortable with ourselves. We are so uncomfortable to support each other that we don't have to allow for other races to tear us apart because we tear us apart. And I think that one thing that I can agree with Mr. Bolden is your vote is your right, what you choose, okay? This election is not like any election that we faced in this lifetime, period. And what happened to when people tell you who they are, believe them? When this man says that I can kill someone in the middle of Fifth Avenue and get away with it and literally what more does this man have to say or do? So the only thing that I can say at this point,
did it happen?
On November 6th, America is going to get what America deserves. Either it's going to get someone in office that is level-headed and responsible and experienced that we have to hold accountable to the things that they say they're going to do, and make it clear to that person, her, that if not, you won't be in this office again, or we are getting ready to go to hell in a handbasket, and we might as well be ready for it. So my hope is, out of this whole conversation, that our people is amping up either way, that we need to start preparing. We got 10 days to prepare our households financially, what that looks like, because the whole world is watching, right? And so the funny thing is, we all pretty much grew up with that stupid saying of what goes on in our house stays on in our house, right? We got all of this going on in our house, and all of these countries are watching, going, look at these fools right here. And when you talk about immigrants, we sell them on the American dream. Okay. When the first time that I went to St. Thomas and I met people from St. Thomas that they had never been to America, they actually thought the streets were paved with gold over here. They actually thought like bright lights and all of that, because they didn't know any better. This is the myth that's told, that you could just come here and you're going to get rich and you're going to get, and I'm just like, nah, let me show you what America really, really is. America has stood on the neck of us for so long, and the reason why they do it is because we keep allowing them to do it. Okay, but whether you like Kamala or you don't like her or vote for her, you cannot disrespect her. You should not disrespect her, because when you look in the mirror, her image looks just like you, and you.
Absolutely. So, all right. So we're going to Mr. LP's favorite part of the show. Thank you, Ms. Silk. So it is the word of the week, and he's going to tell us what it is. Probably something that I can't pronounce, but that's fine. Mr. LP, go ahead and take it back.
All right. The word of the week is, now here's the rule of the thing. Gonna give you the word of the week. You're not allowed to go look it up real fast or whatever. I want you to guess the word, guess the pronunciation of the word. And we get the definition and figure out what it means, and then let you guess what it means if you know it, and then we get to use, everybody gets to use it in a sentence. Okay.
Right. If you can pronounce it. If you can pronounce it.
I will help you with the pronunciation with it, but here's the word.
Epistemic?
Close.
Epistemic?
No.
Epistemic.
Very close.
Epistemic.
Yeah, they're epistemic. Yes.
Epistemic. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Epistemic.
Okay, Bolden, still, y'all can't be quiet here now. Y'all ain't cheating here.
Epistemic.
Okay, so what do you think that word means?
It means Mr. Bolden's hat.
Epistemic.
Yes and no. Yes and no.
Epistemic. What, to like go against your own interests?
No.
That's my guess.
Y'all evil. Evil. Bolden, what do you think, sir?
Epistemic.
You have, I don't know, maybe a large idea of esteem. I don't know.
It's an adjective relating to knowledge or the degree of its validation.
Knowledge or
cognitive.
What? Say that again. I'm a listener.
Okay, relating to knowledge or to the degree of its validation.
Use it in a sentence, Mr. LP, since you know so much.
Right.
Exactly.
No, okay. Y'all supposed to redo it first, but okay, I'll do it first. Okay, epistemic uncertainty refers to uncertainty related to what we can or cannot know about a particular situation.
Okay, so what you did was Martin Luther King. Can you give us some regular, like 10 o'clock sentence? Can you give us a 10 o'clock sentence? Because that went all over to my bedtime.
Okay.
Help me out.
Okay, the debate around climate change involves epistemic questions about how we acquire relatable and reliable information.
Okay. So, Ms. Love, go ahead and use it in a sentence. I'm excited. Go ahead, girl.
Yeah, right. I'm still trying to soak it in, like, because I was thinking about the word pessimistic. my brain was trying to like flip the letters around and make a whole another word. Never mind.
Oh, it also refers to your knowledge of a study or a certain field.
And they said we don't know all the answers, or we can't. What is it?
Well, no, relates to your knowledge or the study of a knowledge of your skill set. And it's used to describe things that are concerned with its origin, nature, limits, or validity of the knowledge, that type of thing. Anything relating to knowledge or the process of acquiring knowledge.
And what was the sentence?
The debate around climate change.
He didn't give one.
I ain't
Now y'all gonna make me look up I used the sentence correctly, but now y'all gonna make me look up for a simple.
Hold on, let's see.
I'll do some homework and look it up.
All right.
No, sir. This is
about to repeat itself.
Right.
Exactly.
Also,
how about my limited epistemic of what that word means is very limited.
Right.
Okay, we'll let that one slide. All right, I want to play. I got something for I had, and a friend has sent me the text about it. It was mad at me that I didn't play it before because it's quite relatable. So I said, okay, you know what? This is something valid here. It's where people need to. I've been the guy that doesn't necessarily say you shouldn't have to always be entertained to get something, but this one here is real quick, but just something just to give you an idea.
Mr. Thomas, I have some bad news. You have a serious medical condition, and if you don't have surgery immediately, you'll likely die.
Oh my God.
With your current healthcare plan, you can only choose between 2 people to do the surgery, but the choice is totally yours. We have Dr. Stewart, a surgeon trained specifically in this procedure, or the circus clown. Your options, right?
Yeah, I know. It's just, this is my life we're talking about. I just want to make an informed decision.
Well, it looks like Dr. Stewart went to undergrad at Purdue University.
Purdue? Not like a Harvard or the other one?
He did undergrad at Purdue, and then med school at NYU, and then residency at Johns Hopkins.
And the clown?
Just a circus clown, not a surgeon. But it does look like this clown was best known for performing at Bartholomew and Bott's Big Ring.
Oh my God, I've seen him. He's kind of famous.
Yeah, he's clown famous.
And the surgeon, he's not famous?
Well, he is very renowned in his field.
But I wouldn't like recognize him from anything?
Anything being?
I don't know, like a show or Instagram or TikTok.
No.
It's a lot of moving around.
Huh?
The surgeon, a lot of moving around. Purdue, the other places that you said.
Yes.
So that's not suspicious to you?
No.
I see. So you're in on this?
In on what?
I see. And the clown, did he do a lot of moving around during his experience?
You mean his experience as a clown and not a doctor of any kind?
Yes.
No. He was mostly just a clown for the one circus.
Solid track record then.
Okay, I feel like we're getting a little bit off topic. You need the surgery to save your life. And there is one doctor and one clown.
Man, that clown is funny.
Mr. Thomas, this is a very serious decision.
Right, of course, totally. And just to make sure, does the surgeon have good morals?
Every doctor takes the Hippocratic Oath, which is a pretty strict ethical code.
Well, that's very reassuring. And the clown? Is there some equivalency in the clown world?
No.
Are you sure? Feels like there should be.
I'm not sure, but there would be no reason for clowns to have a moral code because they don't deal with life or death situations.
Until now, that is.
Yeah.
So maybe they should fix that?
Or you could just have him not operate on you.
For sure. It's just the surgeon is clearly a privileged elite.
Okay.
So obviously that means that he worships the devil and he dissects baby squirrels.
There is no reason to think that the surgeon does any of that.
But the idea is out there now, isn't it?
Because you said it.
I know, but now that it's out there, it just feels so icky.
I'll be honest with you. This clown has performed surgery before, and he has killed a lot of people.
How many people?
Over 200,000 in the last 8 months.
Wow, that is a lot of numbers. But maybe they would have died anyway.
But that's the point. Probably a lot of people could have been saved with the proper surgeon.
I'm leaning clown.
Why?
The clown told me he could do the surgery. I don't know where you're getting your numbers, but the clown just gave me this very confident looking graph.
Oh my God, I can assure you, he doesn't know how to do surgery. He is a clown.
So one of you two is lying to me. How do I know that you're not the clown?
Because he's the clown.
Fair. He's very good at tricks, though. The satanic squirrel dissector, does he do tricks?
You mean the surgeon? He can do the very impressive trick of saving your life from all his years of training as a surgeon.
It'd be pretty wild, though, if the clown did my surgery. So crazy.
Yes, that would be crazy.
I know, he's not even trained.
Exactly. This clown has no idea what he's doing, and if you don't get the surgery, you will die.
Don't tell me what to do.
It's not telling you what to do if I'm just describing the facts of the world around you.
Well, don't describe the facts of the world around me if they're bad.
Okay, surgeon, clown. What are you gonna do?
I don't know yet, but maybe if I yell enough, I'll figure it out. You push me into this room and you put the weight of the world on my shoulders, and then you tell me that my only and obvious choice is this buttoned up sucker, and then my only other option is this fake non-option, and you call me an idiot for doubting the integrity of the system itself? Well, as I see it, that's the only reasonable thing to do in this fucked up scenario. And I don't know, maybe you're wrong. Maybe there is some other choice. Or maybe I can beat this thing on my own. Or maybe you're lying to me and I'm not even sick. Or maybe, just maybe, if I'm gonna die anyway, then my one mark on this stupid planet is to be the guy that got famous for having the world's most popular clown give him surgery. Because Fuck it. And fuck all of you. And the clown told me he could do it. Maybe it'll be great and cool.
I know this isn't easy or comfortable. This is a very serious situation. But there is hope. There is a way out. And yes, the system is flawed. And you and I might agree or we might disagree on how it's flawed, but it is. And that's why we need people like you to make it through the surgery so that you can make a difference and help change the system. This clown doesn't know how to do surgery.
I'm a great surgeon.
And if you let him, it's not going to be good. I promise you. He is bad, and he is not cool. And if enough people like you pick the clown, there might not even be a surgeon as an option next time.
I understand.
Now that was hilarious.
That was hilarious.
That was hilarious.
You know what?
That was absolutely hilarious.
I'm gonna write to Kamala's her whatever her
You can go ahead and say,
her-
honey, her
her-
administration. I like it. Go ahead.
her campaign and ask her what she's going to do about reparations and police brutality, because I don't believe they should have qualified immunity. If she can actually have an answer to those, I would consider it.
She did that. That was one of the first things she did.
No. I need absolute answers about reparations. If you can do it for illegals, I need answers for us and what she's going to do about police. They need no immunity. You commit a crime of assault, murder, pedophilia, or rape. No protections at all. You're just a citizen. I need answers about reparations.
I can tell you for a fact she did about the qualified immunity. That was one of the first things she said. Seriously, that's why you don't see.
Well, guess what? I need her to talk about it again confidently that she will take action. And the reparations thing, since you're going to dangle it in front of us as Black Americans, you need to have answers. No answers. No answers. No vote.
I'm going to help you out with that one.
No answers. No vote.
You've got 11 days, and if that's what you're waiting for, sir, keep the hat, take the tag, and vote.
I will.
Love. Okay. How can I help you?
I was gonna say Donald Trump has already said that the police can do whatever they want. Like he's against qualified immunity. Like it's not even a topic for him of debate. Like police just have a free reign. Like he's said that himself. So again, I don't know why you would vote for him. It just doesn't make. It doesn't make.
He would let the police do whatever they want.
He's just being contrary, and I think that's just what you want to do, and that's what I just respect that. Because you know that asking somebody 11 days going into their campaign on whether or not they're going to be a president it's not going to happen. So I am okay with you just saying I'm voting for Trump. I respect that I do. But please don't say you would be able to consider if she did A, B, C, and D. No.
If she answers,
it's your choice. So your choice is Trump.
If she has answers for illegals, she can have answers.
She is not having any answers no more than that Trump has an answer for being an idiot.
But she had an answer. She gave that answer because she said that she would put that to several times. The bill that got here's the thing: the Republican Party wrote the bill. They endorsed the bill. The Democrats gave no objections to the bill. They said, "Okay, let's go with it," and went on with it. So that was her thing, and she was voting with it. It was 100% done deal with 95% vote, the House and the Senate. Trump said, "Hell no," because that was going to get the win to Biden. So he told the new
Republicans,
it said, "Forget it." So they all backed out of it just to try to make them bad. So she had a bill to stop that. So she specifically said on The View, on CNN, on Fox News, everywhere said, "I'm going to put that bill back up on the table," and things like that. Everybody agreed on it before Trump spoke on it. So
then I need that to happen because I'm sorry,
but it can't happen if she's not in the office. So
you can't
again,
come here illegally and get benefits immediately.
Okay.
I've worked and tried to work. My unemployment just ran out, and then I got illegals getting funded in healthcare and all of this stuff. I need answers on the reparations now.
Okay.
Well,
but two of those things, the police, the reason why you don't hear anything about it, because she answered that clearly from the jump about the police immunity. Trump wanted to say bring back stop and frisk. I was beat down 70 something times because of that.
Yes.
And he said let them have a day or a couple of hours to do whatever they want. That means kill. That says kill black and brown, kill people of color. That's what it says. And then he said, no, the police immunity, give them everything. The police should never be charged. Those were his exact words and things. And he said, you want to send the National Guard, especially into neighborhoods of color, to clean up the streets because black people don't want to get their act together. That was his exact words on that. The other thing is she says several times on, I'm going to bring that bill up, back up and things. And that's why that has not been come up. She's not the border czar. And then the other thing about that, she had 3 or 4 years to do it. She can't because her job as the vice president, she can help endorse things, but she has nothing. Her main power.
But do you hear what we're saying? We're saying that illegals get these things immediately, but you black folks, y'all still got to wait. Does that make any sense?
Right. That's not what she did.
Does that make sense?
But she didn't do that. She didn't do that. The Republican Party did that. And things, so it's used as a tool to make us upset and mad at them instead of getting mad at
she's
the
in
party.
office now. Why not do it now?
No,
because she's the vice president. She's not the president.
There are other pieces of the government. There are 3 branches of the government. It's not just president and vice president. You have Congress and the Senate. You have the legislative and the judicial branch also. So understand that she's not just sitting somewhere, nor is Joe Biden just making laws. They have to collectively work as a group.
And then you still got whatever you do, and even if they agree, you got the Supreme Court, and then you got the.
So we arrive at the same place. Illegals get benefits before us, who've always lived here and worked here.
But that was, that's the case. That doesn't mean it's a Republican Party thing. That was what you're upset about. Is the Republican Party? I can give you all the facts in the world, sir. Honestly, that was a Republican. I understand why you're upset, but that was a Republican Party thing that they did, and then to confuse them, and they got here, gave them land, in fact, they gave them jobs.
So let me ask you a question. So since she's been in office, has she been working on it?
Actually, yes. She was the one that just here. She sat there and said, "Look, I got to vote for it." And keep in mind, she's a deciding vote. Okay.
Well, how come we have video of everything else she's saying? How come we don't have video of that? Her really saying this is what we're actually working on this. Where's all that video?
Because white media controls the media. They let you listen to what they want you to hear.
You have to do research. So you just can't wait for it to pop up. If you want to know that information, it is simple as clicking. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Fine. I'll do that. Hearing. Watch all of those things. But here's the problem I have. You're making this assessment off of something that you didn't watch. So then what are you watching to make the assessment that what you're saying is correct?
Fox, Newsmax.
Oh, no. I'm watching it happen every day. Illegal immigrants do get funded.
Truth Social. That's what he's watching.
They do get funded before us.
Thing. I get what you're saying, but you are placing your feelings on a wrong party. It's not just a party that does that. We have to collectively work together to get to these moments. Okay.
All right.
So,
well, like you said, I'll look it up.
But I would prefer, again, I want you to say out of your mouth, you're just voting for Donald Trump because you want to, because everything that you have said, 85% of it has been debunked. And then you come back with some other foolishness that's getting debunked. So just say I'm a Trump lover.
Okay, I'll look it up. I'll look it up.
He's the businessman.
You know what? I swear to God, you're on his campaign because you can't answer a question either.
I'll see if she's been working on it.
Hold on.
Someone does not make an asylum request at a legal point of entry and instead crosses our border unlawfully, they will be barred from receiving asylum. While we understand that many people are desperate to migrate to the United States. Our system must be orderly and secure. I reject the false choice that suggests we must either choose between securing our border or creating a system of immigration that is safe, orderly, and humane. We can and we must do both. And as president, I will work with Congress to create, at long last, a pathway to citizenship for hardworking immigrants who have been here for years.
Not before us. No way.
I will surge support to law enforcement agencies on the front lines, more personnel, more training, and more technology. And so even though Donald Trump tried to sabotage the border security bill, it is my pledge to you that as President of the United States, I will bring it back up and proudly sign it into law.
Literally, and things like that. She's made that thing.
And now I need to hear this, because now I want to hear. So what is your thoughts now? Because now what does she need to do?
Wait, okay. So that last part she said what? I couldn't hear because there was noise. What was that?
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll replay. I'm sorry.
She said she will gladly sign into that bill, the border bill that was tried to be passed at the beginning of when she started her administration. That's what she said. You don't need to replay that.
Okay.
And Donald Trump was blocking the bill, using politicians to block the bill so that they couldn't make any progress. And so he becomes president, and then he'll get it passed.
Right. So tell me now.
Right. So still nothing for us. Okay. All right. Well, I guess
no problem. Then guess
my
what?
best
then
option is the vote for none of them. Then
good. I'll take that. I would rather, because I want to still know that you are a black man that has some integrity somewhere.
I mean,
I know say something about the asylums, because Donald Trump, he keeps saying that people are coming from asylums, and he had that confused with asylum seekers. And he really he really did and I'm just thinking, like, this man he's trying to be the president again. How did he even be the president? How did he become the president the first time? It's crazy.
Also, I want to give you.
He's got concepts for healthcare. Like, so if we want to defame somebody, we can go all day long with the stuff that Donald Trump says.
And
again,
also,
so as far as I'm concerned, you answered my question, Mr. Bolden. You just don't.
And also, I also want to let you know, I'm not going to play it, but she sat down specifically with Roland Martin, the Black Star of Atlanta, and CNN, and outlined her black agenda for and things like that in North Carolina before she had her. Yes, she did.
Yeah,
yes, she did.
What's the date on that? 4 days ago. Can you post that link in the chat, Steve?
I'll be happy to. I'm actually going to do that. Actually, I'm going to.
It is recent. It is recent. It's not old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to. I'm going to hear and things like that. So, because see, the thing is, I'm posting it in the thing so everybody can have it. But I want to post it.
I don't see it in the StreamYard one though.
No. I post it publicly, but I will post it in I'll post it there too. But what I want people to sit there and say, like, I hear what you're saying is what a lot of people saying as talking points. The difference is that you're articulating the meaning behind your talking points. The others are not having any talking points or the meaning behind it. But the fact that remains is that is like she's had these things. Everyone's like, I want first, forget them. Why are we taking it out on them in this anger? And then my thing is that, okay, we're focusing on there's immigrants all over. Okay,
we pay taxes here,
right? But my thing is that where was this? Not just from you, but where was this anger about? I'm not getting this first; they getting it before me. When it came to various people from Africa, or more importantly, from Canada, white people from Canada, Europeans, and everything else. There was no issue. And then the second thing about it is that if we have a statute that says, give us your sick and your poor, it didn't say a damn about immigration, this, that, and the other. And things. So where is that? And then where is the complaint for the millions that come here, got the education, and then started businesses. And this is why just about every last one of the people that's in China, Japan, and in the other developing nations, majority of them got their education here and started their businesses here. Why they were illegal and went over there. But they said nothing about why there was an issue, there's some complaints, but it was nothing said when it came to them. But now you got several 100,000 here. Oh my gosh, they're causing all this trouble. And we're not talking about
there's plenty of conservative Africans and Asians.
And is that about being conservative
Hispanics
or not? It's not about being conservative or not. We're not asking about the political view. I'm just saying that these group is a colorism and a racism thing. Because although you're correct, people here need to be taken care of. But what also we have to be mindful is that who are the ones that has the jar, the lid over the jar. And it's not us, and we need to take that action against the ones that do. And it was never us. I could tell you for a fact, okay, Gore lost because we didn't show up. Hillary lost because we didn't show up. And if we show up again, and then now, I hear everybody has a right to non-vote. Don't get me wrong, but a non-vote is a win for Trump. And so, at the end of the day, and no, we don't want to. Some have an issue with the lesser two evils. Okay, let's take that out the equation. What we have to be cognizant of the fact of like, what does it represent? And then at the same time, if you're going to ignore, I had a friend that says, I don't care about the racism things and what have you. We ignore all the the moral issues and things like that. Then we also have, and I'm completely transparent as a man who has a felony in this country, and I can't get I struggle with so many of the other different things in the self-hate from within my own country. I don't even need the racist people to struggle in this country, and I can't get ahead. Because I struggle to get ahead because of that, because of the false things, and because of the laws. And I remember not being able to go to parks for a while because this man was sitting here, because of what he did. Everybody was chasing black kids out of the parks in the northern cities and things like that because of thinking. And here it is, I'm a kid. I'm not raping no grown kids, adult people, but it was just the mindset. When you throw those negative things out there, we've had families that worked in the hotels. We have family people that competed in the competitions that he abused and raped people. And you keep paying people off, I've met the driver. I've met Ivanka's driver. One of the drivers, I should say. And I have another friend that met one too. And he'll pay the first payment and then to say, well, sue me for the rest. Now, Ray, we're not making this up. He's done this thousands of times and killed so many businesses, especially businesses of color. And defaulted. A man that's stolen from a charity. That man, unless you are bound down to his knees, which a lot of black men are, not you, but black men are, he has no respect for you. Once he got your vote, bye-bye. And
he thought it was worth clowning black men by creating a sneaker. How insulting is that? Because his exact words was, well, black people love sneakers, so I know that the blacks love me. And he creates a sneaker, and then to add insult, he makes it gold because he figures niggas like things bright and shiny. This is why I don't understand. I can understand or whatever and stuff, the queen, Miss Love, being undecided, not knowing, wanting to research. I still can't understand anybody black supporting Trump, period. Can't understand it because the man is a racist. He's misogynistic. I just don't understand it. I just can't. There's
and he doesn't believe in God.
That has been said. There's nothing that has even been said tonight by Mr. Bolden, who is very intelligent and well-spoken, to say that he is supporting this person or whatever, because everything that he has said has been proven untrue and not factual and debunked. So as an intelligent black man, I'm still trying to understand why he's sitting there with that hat on and why is he supporting
Donald Trump. I don't want to come to a conclusion, but the only conclusion that I could come to that makes logical sense is that he does not think that a woman is capable of running this country, period. Because there is nothing that Donald Trump has said or done that says that he is the best person for this job, period.
Let me ask a question. Let me ask a question that we didn't address here. And I'm sorry, Ms. Walston, please forgive me. Is there a level, and it is probably going to be the answer yes, because in some for the women here, but I want to be fair to ask other men who are listening, and also I want to be fair to ask Mr. Bolden this as well. Is it because there's a level of machoism, alpha male thing, I'm going to do this, or what have you, and that's aching to a lot of Black men who feel oppressed, who've been targeted, who've been abused like us? So yeah, this, that, and the other. So he felt like, because he said himself, exact words, I've been in jail, I'm just like y'all. I've been attacked and they after me like y'all. What he always says, what do y'all got to lose? He's already said that, and a lot of people fell for that too. So is there a level of machismo, alpha male? Is that for you, from your standpoint, does that matter? Does that affect you? And do you feel that, or not necessarily for you, but do you feel that is also an issue for other Black men out there?
I think some of that actually is true. I'm not gonna lie. Like some of the personality stuff actually does kind of draw you in. So I ain't gonna lie. It does. You know what I mean? But then I could go into some other things because of that, but I won't, because I don't want to, make anyone think I hate them. But that is true. Some of that machismo is kind of what we need right now. You know what I mean? So yeah, I ain't gonna lie, there probably is some of that. I'm surprised you were able to. You should take a psychology class, man. I can see being on your leather sofa listening, talking to you.
Thank you.
But yeah, there was some of that there. Yeah.
Okay,
I appreciate that. I appreciate. That makes sense. That's understand. It's not so much of an agreement. I appreciate the fact of, granted we've teased, kid, whatever, but I do appreciate the fact that you're standing here in answering the question to the best of your ability to how you feel, and you answered that question. I thank you kindly for that. I really do. I do have a question. Can I ask him a question?
Mm-hmm.
Can I please?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Mr. Bolden, is it okay? You talk about your faith and everything. Are you okay with the fact that he really doesn't worship or believe in God?
Yes. And that absolutely is true. And that's why I said that prophetically, it doesn't matter what party wins, the pages of prophecy, it's the end result for me is about Yeshua's kingdom. That is the true government that actually is going to be established over the earth. Now, when it comes to, like I said, raising up of a king, it's who God, listen, God predestines things. And during a certain time, think of like a violin. Violin has different strings and resonance. The sound is different. So for this season right now, as far as I can see, and my vision is limited, but as far as I can see, he is the person to be in the position for this season. Does that mean the season goes on forever? No, but for this season, I see it.
All
and I see it's the time. I'll listen respectfully. I hear you. I might not agree, but I hear that. I understand what you're saying. Miss Silk, you said something.
I was saying we need to.
I agree with him when he says about the season, but I see the season different. I see that God said it is now time that a woman steps up and clean up and do what needs to be done in this country. And so that's that I do believe in this season. And I believe because it's not by happenstance that I look across the United States and I see the amount of women mayors and the amount of women governors and stuff that has stepped up. And so that office would be the only one that in this season that has not been touched by feminine hands. And I think, and let us be clear, even when they were men in the office, there were certain men. Rosalind Carter was right there with her husband. Michelle Obama right there with her husband. Okay, Jacqueline Kennedy. So there were some women that were still in the clutches, and let's not act like these men when they came home and they were beaten down by everything that's going in city government. Some of them decisions got made right there in the bedroom, vetting out to their woman about what needs to be done and what should be done and what could be done.
Yeah,
And I think that's what it. So I respect the fact when you say that there's some machismo in there. I think, to be honest with you, beyond that, I think a lot of it is fear. I think the fear of that she just might get in there and do what 45 wasn't able to do before her. And so, because it's kind of like the same fear that they had when Barack Obama was running for office, not knowing that historically Barack Obama was not the first a man of color to hold the office of the president of the United States.
I have a question.
Well, first off, sir,
first, one second, Mr. Bowler. So we have Miss Love has to go, so we want to let her give her the floor just so we can. First of all, thank you for joining this. And so please, we would like for you to just provide us with some information. Tell us your thoughts on the show and your experience tonight, please. Thank you.
Well, thank you all for having me. I know I jumped on here at the last minute. I'm a very opinionated person. So when I saw the topic and I heard some of the things being said, I was like, oh my God, I have to get on here. I really enjoyed it. Everybody's opinions. I learned a lot as well. I think I'm no longer undecided voter. So whenever this live ends, hopefully it'll be posted to Facebook and it'll stay out there, or does it just go away?
No, it's live forever to the end of time. It's on Facebook and on YouTube.
Okay, so I'm gonna share it to my page.
I'll reshare it tomorrow. I'm banned today, but I'll reshare it and make sure you're tagged.
Yeah, I'm gonna share it. Make sure I share it on a couple of different groups, so and put on there. This is for the undecided voters. So yeah, I enjoyed it. Thank y'all for having me again. I'm Shy Love on Facebook and on Instagram. I'm Shy Love Radio Uncut, and I also have a business that deals with reentry as well, and that website is lifelaunchinc.org. lifelaunchinc.org. We link people with resources and different things throughout Richmond, Hampton, 757. We all over the place. So please check us out. I also have an apparel manufacturing business as well. So if you need some wholesale prices on some apparel for your businesses or your organizations, please hit me up for that. And also do customized stuff as well, shirts, bags, all kinds of things. So
wonderful.
Again, thank y'all for having me.
Get it, Queen. Love it. Nice having you this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Shy.
Thank you.
All right.
I owe you, Shy.
All right. Happy voting.
So you can design a shirt.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Yes.
Oh, so you can design a shirt that says 45 for 47.
It can say whatever you want it to say.
Absolutely. That's a businesswoman. See, that's how business is done. I love
give me the email. Give me the email.
You want to email Life Launch, so LIFE.
No, the business, the apparel. I posted the website and the link for that, but I need the apparel business email.
It's the same. It's all through the same company.
Okay, can you give me the email, please? I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's lifelaunchinc@gmail.com.
Oh, I'm gonna email you in a minute.
Absolutely.
We definitely will be speaking. I've got some. We need to speak. Awesome.
Okay. All right. I would love that. All right, y'all. Peace.
Is that spelled correctly?
Yeah, that's right.
Lifelong.
Yep, that's right.
Okay. Thank you, Carmen.
All right. Bye, you guys.
Bye.
Take care.
We need to close.
Steven, it's 10:48. We're ready to. I'll start with Mr. Bowler. Mr. Bowler, thank you. First of all, thank you for sitting in the hot seat. I appreciate that. I appreciate you staying true to yourself. I appreciate the banter back and forth. We may not agree on everything, but I do appreciate that we respect each other. So with that, can you please tell our guests how they can get in contact with you, any information about yourself, your email address, and Mr. LP will post it.
Oh, sure. You can go to my website, tistreet.com, and need some updating. Or you can get me at my first and last name, Tori Bolden, at outlook.com. But I did have a question. If she wins, if she wins, does that give her 4 years, or would it be, wait, hold on. No, never mind. I just answered my own question. Never mind.
Yeah, she was. It's still 4 years. It's still 4 years.
Still 4.
The only thing it will be extended if, unfortunately, if Biden passes away.
Something happened to him, and I think that's what you were about to ask. If like something happened to him in the middle, before the actual vote, she would have to hold out the rest of that term, and then still the election would still have to go on. So she would get that time, but she doesn't get 4 if she does not win. Okay.
Right. Okay. Got it.
I hope that's clear.
Is that email correct, sir?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Correct. No
Where's Miss Silk?
I don't know. So I think she went to go get her Kamala hat, but I don't know.
Well, either way, Mr. Bolden,
it probably couldn't.
So
probably can't fit over the wig, so I don't know. But we'll figure it out.
I can't wait till she gets back, Mr. LP. Would you like to say anything about this evening? You want to share?
Yes.
Just want to close out, moderate.
Yeah. yes. Hold on. Here's Silk back right now. Hold on. Let's see. Here she was here for a second. Okay. All right, Silk, you there?
Yeah, I lost signal or whatever. I just wanted to say good night. I thank you all for a great conversation. Thank you, Mr. Bolden, again, for just being truthfully and transparently you. Mr. LP, always thank you. And Queen, you already know. And it was a pleasure definitely meeting Miss Love as well.
And thank you.
I'm closing out. Again, Mr. LP, this is always awesome. This will be my last time moderating because
it will not.
But this was just a great conversation. I seriously, whomever you vote for, just get out there and vote. Just don't vote for that hat that Mr. Bolden has on, and we'll be fine. But just sending love, blessings, and peace to everybody, for everybody that tuned in this evening. So thank you again for the opportunity.
No problem. I thank everybody very much. Just at the end of the day, I want everybody to be truthful to themselves, whether we agree or not. The good thing about all of this with these conversations is that, if nothing else, I wish all our political debates could be what we have here, whether we agree or not. We're not out hateful. We're not attacking each other. We may not agree. There's passion, but we're not letting that come over common sense and reasonable. At the end of the day, I can still eat dinner with each one of you. At the end of the day, if my life is on the line, I can trust each one of you. And I think Silk says it best. We got to restore the love for one another. And I think with not only the Black community, but just everybody on the human nature side, we need to restore the love. And I do believe if we learn to look at things on a dotted line, that we're all starving, we all can't seem to struggle to pay our bills, but like many of us are having a hard time. There's no more middle class. There's the rich and the working poor. And we need to have certain things. I do believe we need to support other countries, but I do also need to believe that we need to stay here as well, because if you take your eye off the line too much on what's going on out there, what they always say, you have to watch your friends and your enemy, friends closer. And thus, if you let things go by the wayside, it goes bad. And also, I don't think people understand that if you let America already made the mistake of the people before it became America already made the mistake of coming into a land and just taking over just because we want it. We did that and we saw what happened. Slavery, indigenous, what have you. Now, in some respects, we're trying to, not clearly and correctly, but in some respects, we're trying to prevent that from Ukraine. If we let another hostile nation come in and just do whatever they want, well, that just gives energy and power to all other hostile nations. So that must be stopped. But at the same time, the world has gotten complicated where we can't just run race at the same time. But we need to empower and have the right people in certain places to run different lanes of the race. We all cannot run the same race at the same time. Everybody can't do all things. We all have to delegate and things. So we then let the people in charge do what they can to Ukraine. Let the people do we charge here, and do understand that it's not going to be fair, and there's not going to be one perfect candidate. There never will be. No one's saying to vote because they black, and I think that jumped the bandwagon for a lot of black men. Also, I want to point out that there's a lot of angst within black men because of men, period, because of what happened with the Me Too movement, where so many of us were attacked for whatever reason, good, bad, and different. I think there's a backlash for men, and then now this is the antithesis, the end all, the coup de grace, the end game. The Me Too movement was the agenda just to get the woman in charge and the black woman and blah, blah, blah. That was not the case. But some feel that way and have energy because they were hurt. And I think people, when they hurt or they don't understand, we make decisions. And let's take the political word out of it. We in our own daily lives. Utilize how we act here in this political season as how we conduct ourselves in our daily lives. And I think if we focus on that and how we treat our neighbor, good and bad and different, and also our children and what we leave for our legacy, I think we'll have a better answer overall for it. And I'm going to leave it right there. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to contact us. You can reach us at enlivengm@gmail.com. Also, we need donations. Silk needs new coloring for her hair. And, I got to pay her. And Anika Bolden said he needs some new hats, a Trump vest. So like the governor here, he got Trump vests. We got to get him one. So we need funds. But seriously, it costs a bit to make these happen, to do it authentically and cleanly, to our best of ability. It takes funding. And we appreciate whatever you can do. Cash App, Gmail, PayPal, Zelle is our email. Also on our page, we have a fundraising program. If you choose to be a sponsor for our show, so we can have more activities, more events, more great guests, we really could use the support. We're not asking for anything above $1 million or so, but we just grateful for what you can. So please consider what you can do. And I thank y'all very kindly.
What is your web address?
Our web address is enlivengm@gmail.com. I do apologize. The shows have not been uploaded. We're putting them on YouTube and Facebook, but it's coming up there. And I will have that up here in a second. But our web address is enlivengm.com. And you'll see some news.
Oh, okay, guys. Okay. That's what I was looking for.
Right. We post updates on news articles from various different topics. We're updating some things from NASCAR. We do reporting on news events, special events, and things like that. So we try to stay active. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to go there. You can set appointments. Got it all. So we'll go from there.
Okay. I left my link in the chat too.
Okay. I will get that out there for everybody, but I appreciate everybody. Miss Watson, closing up for you.
Again, thank you everyone for coming out, and we will definitely see you next week on Thursday at 8:00. Remember, we have 10 or 11 days to vote. I want everybody to take that seriously. Take your family out. I took my children out today to vote for the first time. So please, I'm sending out love and blessings and peace into the universe. I don't care what side you're on. Just know that you're always going to be on my side, and God loves you. Have a great night.
We love you. Have a great night. Stay here, everybody. Thank y'all so kindly. Y'all have a blessed one.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.